yet again with yet another sports podcast. I am, of course, the bearded brother Matt. Right over here to my side.
The bird's underneath. He's not.
Yeah,
He's being
that's
kind of
the
a
bearded
goofball
brother
right now.
Chris, and of course
Oh,
the
there
channel
he is.
mascot is right there on the back of the chair. That would be Loki. And we are here to break down the entire NFL draft from 2026 and give you our grades and our thoughts. But first, we have reason to celebrate as Minnesota fans. Finally, triumphantly, after 11 years of being a first round out, last night in a 5-2 victory, the Minnesota Wild advanced, sending the Dallas Stars to the golf course. Dallas can now start their vacation. We had 3 points from Quinn Hughes, who, as you may remember, we traded massively for at the beginning of the season. And I hate to say it, but I think that trade worked out. It's been 11 years. We're finally in round 2. And our reward is the Colorado Avalanche, who won the President's Trophy and swept the Kings in 4 games in round 1. So, is there a chance we win? Yes, there's a decent chance we win. We played them this season 4 times, and we split that. What's really funny is the wins were almost identical. Each team won big in regulation, 5-2 and like 6-2 or something. And each team took a 3-2 win in a shootout. So if you want to compare these two teams, it's not unheard of. They are both very, very good teams. And Jesper Wallstedt looks to have finally ascended and come into his own. He was an absolute monster backstop for the Wild. Absolutely helping them win. And just, you know, being there to stop up everything while Ottinger just kind of... He was good, but not great. Also, boy, the Stars could not score 5 on 5. Holy crap. But that is the really good news. Other good news, or weird news, I suppose, is the Timberwolves have beaten the Nuggets to advance. And this is after losing Dante DiVincenzo to a ruptured Achilles and losing their superstar, Ant-Man, to a hyperextended knee. As far as we know, there's no permanent damage, but we don't know when he'll be back on the court.
Yeah.
The first game after that, we had a guy nobody had ever heard of go off for like 40 points. And then since then, it's been Jared. I can't remember his last name.
I don't remember it either. No offense.
All I know is that he talked a lot of trash, and he called the Denver Nuggets cones. All of them.
I
For
mean,
a cone drill.
if you're gonna play bad,
and yeah, he I think went 30-10 last night.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Wolves have got enough firepower elsewhere. Unfortunately, our next round is against the Spurs and Wemby, if Wemby is healthy, which I don't know if he is.
No idea. I haven't seen any news on it.
I know that he got concussed or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard any news on it.
I haven't heard anything on it either. But Wemby and Gobert should be fun. They're both French. So I can imagine the trash talk down there in French is going to be hysterical. I've never heard a cussing contest in French, and now I kind of want to.
Probably sounds very... The words I was going to use, I'm not allowed to say, so I'm not going to.
So, yeah. Two French centers going at each other, and we'll see where.
It's a weird way to word that.
That is a kind of a weird way to word that. All right. Well, that's out of the way. We did have a retirement in the NFL. Simmons, the free safety. I can't remember his first name off the top of my head. John, something like that.
I have no idea.
Played
My brain's
for the
not going
Broncos for a
anything.
long time. Signed a one-day contract with the Broncos so he could retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two-time All-Pro safety. He retired out. Obviously not going to be a Hall of Famer, but still very, very good. I'm fairly happy with that. He played a great job. It's not easy to be an NFLer, and he went out and did it for like 9 years. We do have a signing to talk about, and that is Calais Campbell has joined the Baltimore Ravens for his 19th NFL season. He is going to be 40 this year. That's ridiculous. He's going to be 40 years old and still playing edge rusher defensive end in the NFL.
If it works, it works.
Hey, you know what, Mr. Campbell? More power to you, bud. I couldn't do that when I was 40. I don't think I could have done that when I was 20. I'm too small.
Fair.
All right. I don't have any other major news. Do you have anything that's come across your desk?
Not that I can think of. Nothing super important.
All right. Then in that case, time for us to get to this draft, because this is going to take a little bit, because I'm sure we're going to have a lot of similarities, and I'm sure we're going to disagree on several.
Yeah, I don't think too many of them will be that wide. There might be one or two that are wide, but I think most of them will be pretty close.
All right. We'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. Round 1, pick 3, Jeremiah Love. Huh?
I said, oh, okay. I wasn't sure where we were starting. You were starting there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. Arizona, Atlanta, Baltimore.
Yeah, I did it by division, so I'll have to just flip around. It's fine.
I just did it alphabetically. So, round 1, pick 3, Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. Round 2, pick 34, Chase Bisontis, offensive guard, Texas A&M. Round 3, pick 65, Carson Beck, quarterback, Miami. Round 4, go off. Round 4, pick 104, Caleb Proctor, defensive line, Southeast Louisiana. Round 5, pick 143, Reggie Virgil, wide receiver, Texas Tech. Round 6, pick 183, Carson Sherrar, linebacker, Iowa. Round 7, pick 217, Jaden Williams, offensive tackle, Ole Miss. Chris, what do you give the Birds in Arizona?
I'm going to be blunt with you. There are only 2 picks that they picked that saved them from an F. This is a D, a solid D. You get the D. And I want to make it clear. I don't think Jeremiah Love is a bad player. I think he's actually probably the top player in the draft, by all accounts. The problem is, this was not a pick you fucking needed. You literally have Benson coming back. You have what's their other guy that's coming back as well? I forget what his name is.
Connor.
Connor, who's coming back as well.
And
you
signed
literally
Algiers.
signed Algiers in the free agency. Even if you trade one, it still feels unnecessary to have this. This feels so stupid. So the 2 picks that saved them absolutely that I actually like, because I don't want to go down the entire list of all the picks and give my feelings on them. I'll just point out the key ones for me in each team, so that we're not spending a whole lot of time talking about everyone. I think offensive guard Chase Bisontis is actually a good pick. I really like that in round 2. I think that actually helps out a lot, especially considering the fact They don't have a very mobile quarterback. They have, I believe they still have what's his name? I can picture his face right now. Uh, Jacoby Brissett. They still have
Mm-hmm.
Brissett as their quarterback.
Well,
I know they picked up Carson Beck, but I
well,
just
well.
well, currently as stands,
He's under
Jacoby Brissett
contract. He has
is
not
still under
yet
contract.
reported.
Yeah. Well, there's a chance, but even then, Carson Beck. I mean, you still would want to if he
Yeah,
somehow
no,
plays.
he's not.
God forbid.
He's not your starter
God
this year.
forbid.
God forbid.
But if he does somehow plays because Jacoby Brissett issues, um, you still want to have protection. So I think Basantes is good. And I think round 4 defensive tackle Caleb Proctor is actually a pretty decent pick. I like that pick around that time frame. I didn't have him super much higher than that, but I thought it was decent. I have no feelings on Reggie Virgil much. I don't have any feelings on Carson Sherrar, and I certainly have no feelings about Jaden Williams. So the only 2 picks that really save you from being an F is Basantes and Proctor, and that's it.
I give them a D plus.
A
I
little
was
nicer than me.
a little nicer than you. Oh God, where do I start? I like Love as a player, but you didn't need him, and that's a huge negative for you taking him 3rd overall. Not that I don't think he's deserving of being 3rd overall, just you didn't need him there. If you didn't want that pick, or you were afraid that people would make fun of you for not picking him there, trade back. Get more value. But seeing what you did with it, I think you'd have probably screwed that up.
Probably.
Basantis, again, you mentioned him. Love Basantis. I think that was a good pick. He could have gone in the 1st, but I thought more he was a 2nd rounder.
He could have been a late 1st, but I definitely saw him as just a solid 2nd rounder.
And now Beck could eventually, 3-4 years from now, be a starter. I'm not going to say he's going to be good. I will say he could be a starter, which means he'll do just enough to not lose you a football game.
Hopefully.
But he's going to need several years for that to happen. I also like Proctor, but I like him more as an edge than I do as a defensive tackle. I think if they kick him out
I mean, however, he's technically a tackle, but they could use him as an edge. I think in any case they use him, I think they'll get value out of him.
Yeah. And Virgil, blah. Sherrar, blah. Williams, maybe one day, potentially, could have limited starter capacity, but he's a backup at best.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to read the players, or do you want to read some too?
Well, just tell me which team are we going to? Atlanta,
Falcons,
I assume next.
Atlanta is next.
Yeah, I'll go through it next.
Okay.
All right, so Atlanta Falcons did not have a 1st round pick. They had round 2 pick cornerback Avion Terrell. Round 3 they had wide receiver Zachariah Branch. Round 4 they had linebacker Kendall Daniels. Round 6 they had defensive tackle Ontario Thompson. Round 6 they also had linebacker Harold Perkins Jr. And then in round 7 they had offensive tackle Ethan Onawara. Onawara. Onawara? I think that's pretty close.
Oniyanwa.
So, yeah, pretty close to something like that. So, Matt, what did you end up grading the Falcons?
So, unlike their draft last year, where I lambasted them for unnecessary picks, and then turned out that one of their picks that I actually liked turned out to be kind of an idiot.
Still questionable on that, by the way.
Still questionable on that. Anyway. Yeah, so in this JPJ, man, I just don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Terrell, about halfway through round 2, I think is a steal. I think he should have gone much earlier than that, but you grabbing him where you got him, I think that's great. You and I both agree he easily should have been a 1st round cornerback.
Late 1st rounder, but yeah, I had him late 1st, early 2nd.
Yeah, but he still should have gone in the 1st. Branch, that's an okay pick where you got him. I don't hate it. I view him more as a slot or underneath guy. He's not. I don't think he's a 2. He's more of a slot guy.
Yeah.
I think Daniels is okay. I'm not thrilled. The one that makes me kind of stand up a little bit is Perkins Jr. Because if he finds any part of the pre ACL injury form that he had, because if you look at him before he blew out his knee, the dude is a monster and he's probably a first or second round prospect. But he dropped off hard after that injury, so how much of it is him needing to shake that off and get the mental game back, and how much of it is physical? If he can get some of that game back, I think that's a really good pick where they got him. I don't have any particular feelings about Onyanwa. B plus. I think you did a decent draft. I don't think it's terrible, but compared to everybody else, you actually kind of covered some needs, and I think you got some good players.
Okay, I'm gonna heavily disagree with you on this one. I give him a C. Um, really, I like Avion Terrell. It's a good pick. Zachariah Branch is fine for what you got him for. I mean, I don't think they expected him to be a number one, which is fine. Uh, Kendall Daniels in round 4, complete waste of a pick. Ontario Thompson round 6, who knows what you're gonna get. Harold Perkins Jr. I understand where you're coming from, but I we've seen injuries destroy players and
Yeah,
never come back from it, and I just worry that that's what they're getting.
yeah, and
And then
if he's a destroyed injury player, a round 6 pick is not the worst thing you could have used on him.
no, that's why I'm like it's fine. And then the offensive tackle pick in round 7, I just don't have enough information to really give much of a way to pick. So out of the entire thing, I can't give you a heavy grade. I can't give you a good one. You got Terrell, which is good. Branch has like a decent second or third wide receiver, and everything past that is big question marks. I'm sorry, you
I
didn't
get
really
you.
hit on anything, in my opinion, outside the first two, the second and third round.
I kind of understand where you're coming from. All right, Baltimore. They had 11 picks in this draft, which that's a lot of picks for Baltimore.
For Baltimore, that's a lot, yeah.
So, round 1, pick 14, Vega Ione, offensive guard, Penn State. Round 2, pick 45, Zion Young, edge, Missouri. Round 3, pick 80, Jacoby Lane, wide receiver, USC. Round 4, pick 115, Elijah Surratt, wide receiver, Indiana. Round 5, pick 133, Matthew Hibner, tight end, SMU. Round 5, pick 162, Chandler Rivers, cornerback, Duke. Round 5, pick 173, Josh Cuevas, tight end, Alabama. Round 5, pick 174, Adam Randall, running back, Clemson. Round 6, pick 211, Ryan Eckley, punter, Michigan State. Round 7, pick 250, Rayshawn Benny, defensive tackle, Michigan. Round 7, pick 253, Evan Bernston, guard, Northwestern. Chris, analysis and grade for Baltimore.
Oh man, they had a lot of picks. Some of which I'm okay with, and some of which I don't have a, a really good feeling on. So I'll start off with the top. Obviously, we both like their pick at round 4 or number 14, round 1, which is their guard and Ioane. Obviously the top guard in the class, no questions. I think them getting him is big. I think round 2, getting edge Zion Young out of Missouri. That's exactly where I had him going. Was in round 2. I think that's a great pickup.
Yep.
Um, round 3, Jacoby Lane. I don't think is a bad pick. I had him more graded towards the 4th, but round 3, this might be a slight reach in my opinion, but it's not bad. I do like the round 4 Elijah Surratt. That's closer to what I was
Yep.
expecting. I like that pick
I
quite a
like that
bit.
pick too.
I don't have a good feeling on their tight end Matthew Hibner. I didn't really rate him highly or lowly. So maybe that's a fine
It's
pick.
pretty good where he is.
I do like the round 5 corner Chandler Rivers. I think there's a little bit of a project there, but I like the pick still, especially now that we're in round 5. I think that's a decent place for him to go. Tight end Josh Covarez, I'm not a big fan of that one. That
Nope.
pick I don't like very much.
Don't like it.
Not gonna lie to you. Round 5 running back Adam Randall out of Clemson. I'm kind of wishy-washy on. I get why you tried him, but I don't really love the pick
Nope.
either. Um, Round 6 getting punter,
Whatever.
whatever. And then the 2 round 7 picks, I'm kind of indifferent on. Again, lottery picks, maybe they work, maybe they don't. Um, Overall, I think they did pretty decent though. I think they got good value at most of the spots early on, and then had some slight reaches here or there. But I think overall, I liked what they did, and so I'm giving them a B plus.
I
I overall like what they did.
I only gave them a B, but I
Okay,
agree with you.
it's
The
not that far
first,
away.
like the first 6 picks, to me, this was a tale of 2 drafts almost. The first 6 picks, everything up to Chandler Rivers was fine to good to fine,
Yeah,
good to fine, and it really did pretty well. Everything after that, I could kind of do without.
more or less. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, everything from Josh Cuevas down, I'm just like, that's no. That what are you doing?
Those are
No,
choices.
stop.
You're making
You're
choices.
making choices. You're at least there's players being picked. Okay.
Yeah, players are being picked. Choices are
So
being
yeah,
made.
you get a B. Good effort. I think I'm gonna be very interested to see how both Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt fit into your offense, because I think both of them are pretty
Yeah.
good wide receivers.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're both
And
decent wide
Hibner's
receivers.
not gonna make an impact right away, but when you finally lose, because you already lost Likely,
Yeah,
so
likely went to the Giants, so you still have Mark
you
Andrews.
yeah, and
But he's
when
probably on the
Andrews
tail end of his
yeah,
career at this point.
so I think Hibner could step into that role. I think he's pretty good,
Okay.
and he played at SMU, and when his name got called in Pittsburgh, they booed him because he
Well, of
caught a
course.
giant touchdown against Pitt
Shocker.
in Pitt.
Yeah.
So yeah, shocker. All
Yep.
right, Chris, the
Going
Bills
to
would be next.
Buffalo, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Buffalo Bills. All right. They had a decent amount of picks. We'll go over them here. They didn't have a round 1. We have
They
a
traded
round
out of
2.
round 1.
They traded out of round 1. They got round 2. With the 35th pick, they got edge TJ Parker out of Clemson. Round 2, they also had cornerback Davison Egan out of Ohio State. No round 3. Round 4, they had offensive tackle Jude Bowery out of Boston College. Round 4, they had wide receiver Skylar Bell out of UConn. Round 4, they had linebacker Caleb Elarms Orr out of TCU. Round 5, they had defensive back Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina, and that's just a fun name.
It is. I like the name.
Round 5, they had defensive tackle Zane Durant out of Penn State. Round 7, they had cornerback Torano Pride Jr. out of Missouri. Round 7, they had punter Tommy Dorman Jr. out of Florida. And round 7, they had offensive guard Armaj Reed Adams out of Texas A&M. So, Matt, what did you see out of this draft?
You basically, in my opinion, after round 2, you had one pick where I went, "Oh, that was okay," and everything else I could throw in the garbage, and I think I'd be happier.
All right. So, which out of curiousness, I'm curious if we're sitting at the same boat. After round 2, what pick did you like?
Skylar Bell. I
So
actually
we did agree on that.
I
Yeah.
liked
Okay.
the Skylar Bell pick out
I
of
do like the
UConn.
Skylar Bell pick. Yep.
I think that was a really good pick, and he could turn out to be a hell of a good receiver for you. Jude
Yep.
Bowery, humongous reach. What the were you thinking?
That was a bit of a reach. Yeah.
That was a huge reach. I like the name Jalen Kilgore, but I just don't care.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I did give them a slight bump because I just like that name.
Fair enough. I also like the name Toriano Pride. Isn't the name
Yeah.
just fun to say? Like, if we were giving
Yeah.
out grades for names, you guys probably win the name grade.
I mean, if you look at what they did the draft here, right? Like we're talking, they had two second round picks, three fourth round picks, 2 5-round picks, and then 3 7-round picks.
Yeah.
This year was not their year for drafts.
Well, they traded out of the first entirely.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what I will say, the good, TJ Parker, I thought he was going to go in the first. You got him in the second. Good job.
Good pick, yeah.
Davison Igbinosun, I don't hate it, and he could be decent.
Decent pick. I think I had him more in the third, but I mean, they had 2 seconds. Why not?
Yeah, you had the 2 seconds. And Skylar Bell, I think that was a fantastic pick in round 4. But everything else, I kind of don't care, and I kind of think you missed the boat. But for 3 really good picks and trading out of the first and getting more stuff, perhaps even for next year, loading up on some
Yeah.
more draft picks, you get a C plus. You get a C plus. You tried. Draft picks were involved, and you did some things that were all right.
Yeah. I'm I'm in the same boat. I gave him a C plus. I like their first two picks. I don't like the Jude pick. I think Skylar Bell was a good pick. I think Caleb Elms or could be something, but at round 4, that seems like a reach to be picking for a something pick. And then everything after that is I have no idea what you're getting. And I don't think you do either.
Yeah, I think it's all a big question mark.
Yeah.
And
So
that's why
that's
I was like, yeah, this is a C plus.
yeah, it's a C
You
plus. It's a
tried
solid
hard.
C.
You tried hard, and and I just think you could have done better.
I
Especially where
think
you
so
grabbed
too.
Jude Bowery, you could have done better.
You know what I would have liked to see? I would have liked to see them pick up one more good, like really good wide receiver, either with that Jude pick or even swapping, you know, their cornerback pick for a higher round 2 wide receiver.
Yes.
Like I really think they needed another really solid wide receiver and they just didn't do it. And while I like Skylar Bell, I I mean, let's be honest, he's not even going to be a number 2. He's going to be a number 3 guy.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
you got more who's going to
yeah.
be your steadfast number 1, but then your number 2 is probably one of your tight ends, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Bell is going to be your number 3, and that's
Yeah.
kind of
I
scary because
just
Bell can be good. I just don't think he's.
I don't know how consistent he's going to be,
Yeah,
especially in the first year, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. Carolina had 7 picks this year. Let's talk about them. Round 1, pick 19, Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia. Hold on. Round 2.
Excuse you.
There you go.
Excuse you again.
Thank you. Round 2, pick 49, Lee Hunter, defensive lineman, Texas Tech. Round 3, pick 83, Chris Brazel II, wide receiver, Tennessee. Round 4, pick 129, Will Lee III, cornerback, Texas A&M. Round 5, pick 144, Sam Hecht, center, Kansas State. Round 5, pick 151, Zakee Wheatley, safety, Penn State. Zakee.
I
Round
know it's a
7,
key.
yeah. Round 7, pick 227, Jackson Quach,
Quatch.
linebacker, Miami, Ohio. Chris, what is your feelings on the Panthers?
So I'm gonna be completely honest here, like I normally am. I really think this is a sneaky good draft. I really, really like this draft a lot. I think Monroe Freeling is a very obvious good pick for them. Protect, your quarterback makes sense. He's young, keep him safe. I think Lee Hunter as a defensive tackle is fine. Maybe a slight reach in round 2, but I think it's still a good pick. I really, really like the Chris Brazel pick in round 3. I had him going actually in the second round, so I think
Mm,
that's kind of a steal. I think cornerback Wee Lee the third is fine at round 4. He's got a little bit of a project in him, but I think he still has potential there. I love the Sam Hecht pick in round 5. That's a fantastic center to be getting at round 5, in my opinion. And I think Zakee Wheatley is a heavily underrated safety at round 5. I think he's far better than people think he's going to be. This is an A minus. I like this draft a lot. I really
See,
do.
I'm going to disagree with you. I gave this a B minus, and I'll explain my reasoning. Not that I don't love the players they got. As you mentioned, I love Monroe Freeling. That's a fantastic pick. Protect your quarterback. I totally get it. Brazel in round 3 is great. Will Lee, the project corner, that's fine. Hecht, I really like Hecht. Hunter, fine. He'll be an okay defensive nose tackle. I got it. You kind of needed one. What they
Yeah.
didn't get is where I dinged them. You lost a running back, and you didn't pick a new one up, and you could have used another edge rusher, and you didn't get one of those either. So for not covering some of the key base needs that you
I
had,
mean, to be fair, they had a lot of needs, and I think they made the best with what they had. I mean, let's be honest. After the first, like, okay, after Love is gone, right? What options do you have left? Especially at the picks that they had. I don't know if there's any other person I would really pick at 19.
oh,
Freeling
not at
obviously was the best,
19, but like
but
down where
even
they
at
grabbed.
49, like at round two with Lee Hunter, okay, maybe. But even then,
No, I was
after
thinking like 129,
you
where
know,
they grabbed Will Lee the third. Do you need another cornerback? Was that something that was an absolute necessity? Because you could have picked up
if you
that
look at
kid
their
out.
defense, I would say yes, but
You could have picked up the kid out of Nebraska right there.
yeah, maybe.
That's one that could have totally gone there. There were a couple of places where they could
But
have.
my point is that they had a lot of needs and they didn't have a ton of picks in the higher rounds to get some of the bigger needs
A
that they
lot
really
of the running
wanted.
backs slipped, so
So
there was chances
some of
that
them did, but I didn't like anything past Love. Personally, I think past Love and past
Price.
um uh Price, I think all the rest are projects, and you just don't know what you're gonna really get out of them. Um, and so I think the Panthers were looking at it more as let's get one for next year if we can. Let's fill some of these other needs with some of the other players that we kind of need. I don't know. I like it better than you. I think I think they filled needs in good spots that they needed, and I can see why you like. Yeah, Will Lee the third. Could they have picked something better there? Absolutely. Which is why they're not like an A or A plus. But
Yeah,
I don't think there
it's
was
the
a
fact.
lot of better
Yeah,
options
it's the
overall.
fact that you kind of did need some sort of edge, and you kind of did need some sort of running back, and you didn't really address either of those. And I just there to me that's the biggest glaring hole in your draft.
Filling those two are actually the edge they might have been able to get, but I think running back was never going to be a viable option outside of getting Love or Price. For them anyways, because like they're looking for a true number one. Everything after Love or Price was not going to be a true number one, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
So for me, what I would have wanted to see is where you picked Lee Hunter, grab a good edge instead,
Yeah,
because there would have
instead of
been one
maybe the
there.
nose, yeah.
And then where you grabbed Will Lee the third, maybe look at Corleone because I think he was still available there.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
you get a nose tackle there
Yeah.
instead of Will Lee the third, and then maybe I rate this more as like a B plus A minus. But
Mm.
as it is, you're a B minus just because I would have liked to have seen one more of those holes filled. Next up, Chris, take us through Chicago's draft.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Chicago. All right, and the first round, they got safety Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. Round two, they got center Logan Jones out of Iowa. Round three, they got tight end Sam Roche out of Stanford. Round three, they got wide receiver Xavion Thomas out of LSU. Round four, they had cornerback Malik Muhammad out of Texas. Round five, they had linebacker Keyshawn Elliott out of Arizona State. And in round six, they had defensive tackle Jordan Van Denberg out of Georgia Tech. That's a name and a half. So Matt, what did you think of the Bears?
Okay. Am I happy I'm going to get annual double doses of Dylan Thieneman? No.
No.
No. That was a really good,
Absolutely not.
very good pick for them. Logan
Yeah.
Jones, fantastic center pick.
Probably the best center in the draft, honestly.
One of them. I liked Slaughter better. That's just me. But you could make your case for Logan Jones, and I would hear it.
Yeah.
I also liked Malik Muhammad. That's not a terrible corner. I think where you got him in the fourth is fine. I have a bone to pick with almost everything else.
I'm going to fight you on one of them.
Are you going to fight me on Sam Roush?
No, Sam Roush was a stupid fucking pick, and I don't understand it.
I don't either, and I also don't understand Xavier Thomas.
That's the one I'm going to fight you on.
Fuck you.
He's
He's a seventh rounder at best.
Oh, hard disagree. I think he's an underrated wide receiver.
Nope. 7th rounder at
Now,
best.
granted, I will say round 3, definitely too high.
Yeah, huge,
But
huge reach.
if they would have gotten him at like round 5 where Keyshawn Elliott was, I would have been far happier.
Keyshawn Elliott was round 4.
No, Keyshawn Elliott was round 5,
Round
number
4.
166.
Yep, round 4.
That's round 5, buddy.
That's round 4.
I'm literally staring at it on my screen. That's round
I
5.
am too. I got this off the internet.
Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. I'm gonna have to pull up a different one then. Make sure that I am in the right area here. Let me see here. Uh,
Hold on. Because
Let me
maybe
see
the
here.
site I used is wrong too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm double checking mine now because I want to make sure. 26. Make sure
Oh.
this is correct.
It is telling me that is pick 5 or round 5. For whatever reason,
yeah,
because
round 5 starts at 141.
Yep, they were telling me that was round 4. Whatever, fuck them. Round 5, pick 166. So yeah,
like,
if they had grabbed him in round 5, I would have way less of a problem with that.
Yeah.
But to grab him in round 3 was a gigantic reach.
I think he is a project wide receiver that has the potential to be really, really good. Round 3 is a bit of a reach.
And I could care less about both Elliott and Vanderberg.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Whatever picks. But Sam Roush was a stupid pick. The only thing I can say is, if he blocks, maybe you could use him as a fullback.
I think they plan on using him as a blocker, but a round 3 blocker and tight end is a choice.
So dumb. I hate it. I absolutely hate what you did there. You could have done better.
There's one other team that did that, and I'm gonna roast the shit out of them when we get there.
I know our team grabbed a tight end, but I don't think it was in round 3. I think they grabbed him a little later, and they absolutely plan to use him as a fullback.
Yes, that's why I'm not gonna roast that one in the same way. There's one other team that I am absolutely gonna roast though.
But yeah, so I kind of mostly hate what you did. There's a couple of things I think were really good, and the rest of it I think is kind of dumb. C.
I think you're being a little critical. I think the Dylan Thieneman pick is absolutely a steal that late in that round.
I agree.
I think Logan Jones is a fantastic pick in round 2. I think Malik Muhammad in round 4 does make sense. Again, I think Xavier Thomas, where they picked him, isn't good, but I think is a decent player. So I decided that I'm going to give him a B-, because I do think that they picked up some good players at good positions. I think their round 5 and round 6 pick could be fairly negligible, and their round 3 pick of Sam Roche is just kind of fucking stupid. But so they made some good choices and they made some really bad choices. And so B- ish territory, mostly because I really like their first 2 picks, to be honest. I think they slam dunked their first 2 picks and then decided to snort some crack cocaine after that.
That's pretty much why all right, I'll run through Cincinnati's picks and then you can give me your feelings on them. I'm sure this will be enlightening.
I'm very curious to see where we're at on this one.
I am too, because I'm not sure how I feel about. I'm gonna be honest. This is one of the ones where I was like, question mark?
They did so. It feels like every other pick they had somebody else to go up there to big picks.
Yeah. So round 2, pick 41, Cassius Howell, edge out of A&M. They did not have a first round pick this year.
Did not yet.
But round 2, pick 41, Cassius Howell, edge, Texas A&M. You needed another one. Your last one walked. I get it. Round 3, pick 72, Takario Davis, cornerback, Washington. I like that name, Takario.
It's a good name. I give him that.
Takario. It's almost like Taco Rio, which
I know. That's very much
Taco man. Round 4, pick 128, Connor Liu, center, Auburn. Round 4, pick 140, Colby Young, wide receiver, Georgia. Round 6, pick 189, Brian Parker II, they list him here as a guard, but I've seen him as a center. He's an interior
I
offensive
have
lineman.
I have it listed as a tackle. So yeah, I think he just plays all
He's a
over the
lineman,
offensive
offensive
line.
lineman, Duke. Uh,
Yeah.
round 7, pick 221, Jack Endries, tight end, Texas. And round 7, pick 226, Landon Robinson, defensive tackle, Navy. Chris?
uh Listen, I think what I said stands. It feels like every other pick had somebody else picking. Like they had two guys picking, and they just kind of fought over who they were picking over the entire time. Because round 2, Edge Cassius Howell makes sense. I think it's a good pick even. And round 2 is kind of where I expected him to go. Not a bad pick. Round 3, quarterback Takario Davis. That's a bit of a reach, if you
Yeah.
ask me. that's a bit of an oddball pick. But then we go to round 4, center Connor Liu. I like that pick, even at round 4. I think that's pretty decent. And then we go round 4, wide receiver Colby Young, and I'm going,
What?
who's the one smoking crack over there? And then we go over to round 6, offensive tackle Brian Parker the second. I go, okay, I get it. He can fit. He's a kind of a project, but he can
Right.
kind of play anywhere. But then we go to round 7, tight end Jack Endries, and I'm going, I have no idea what's happening anymore. And then their final pick in D tackle Landon Robinson, I'm going, definitely a project, but he's got potential.
Yes.
So I'm kind of like at a loss of what the fuck is going on over there. So overall, I think they filled some good needs, specifically in edge and center, and even getting some decent offensive line picks as well. So I'm kind of leaning between the B minus C plus territory. I ended up leaning more C plus ish because I'm so confused by all the other picks.
I firmly agree. I gave them a C plus. Also, as I literally said here, some of this works on how you deploy what you got. Because I don't know if he's a tackle or is he a guard, and is he a center or is he a guard? I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
Well, since they already picked up a center, he's probably going to be either guard or tackle.
Well, no, because you could even put Lou at guard if you wanted to.
Well,
I don't even know if
that's
they have
true,
another center
but-
already. But I don't know what you're doing. Okay, point is, I like Cassius Howell. I just hope he works out better than the last Texas A&M edge rusher you picked up,
Fair.
who held out forever and then had a very poor year. I just don't know. There's so many wild cards here and so many different things that, like, you're right. It's every other pick, and that's why I said this is a C plus. One of you was on crack and one of you was rational.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
All right, Chris, run us through Cleveland.
Cleveland. All right, so let's talk about Cleveland. So, round 1, with the 9th overall pick, they pick up offensive tackle Spencer Fano out of Utah. Makes sense. I mean, there was only 2 offensive tackles here that made sense for him to pick, so I get it. Round 1 with the 24th pick, they went wide receiver Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2, they then pick up wide receiver Denzel Boston out of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Also, round 2, they pick up safety Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo. Round 3, they had offensive tackle Austin Barber out of Florida. Round 5, they pick up center Parker Brailsford out of Alabama. Round 5, they pick up linebacker Justin Jefferson out of Alabama. Not that Justin Jefferson, obviously.
They've already made that joke.
Yeah, I know. Round 5, they pick up tight end Joe Royer out of Cincinnati. Round 6, they pick up QB Talon Green out of Arkansas. Now I'm very confused what their QB room is. And in round 7, they pick up tight end Carson Ryan out of BYU. With that all said, what are your thoughts?
I think this is a sneaky good draft. I think they did a really good job considering your first 4 picks all potentially could have been first round players.
Yep.
Agreed. I think Neil Warren in the second round is more natural for him, but we initially had him
getting floated as potentially in the first. Yep.
Potentially in the first. Denzel Boston could have gone in the first. Concepcion obviously went in the first. By the way, I found out that his first name is like Kenneth or something.
Yeah, it's like Kenneth something else. Yeah.
No, it's Kenneth. It's KC is Kenneth Concepcion.
Yeah. So they just call him KC Concepcion.
KC. It's Kenneth Concepcion. What the?
Yeah.
What the? I don't agree with Fano over Maui Goa, but then we found out that Maui Goa has a back issue, and I was like,
Potentially,
okay,
yeah.
potentially,
Yeah.
okay, I get it, okay. I'm not mad at it. They're both really
No, no.
good. So I
Yeah.
like I like Barber. Barber to me could be a good to great eventual starting offensive tackle. Give him a couple of years. Brailsford is decent at center. I think he's going to be a good piece. He could even kick out to offensive guard. That Justin Jefferson, or the new Justin Jefferson, or a Justin Jefferson. Um, there, JJ sniffs out a lot of plays, tackles pretty decently. Um, Taylon Green is at a sixth round pick. I don't hate it. He's intriguing would be the best word I would give. Because there are times when he looks like a monster, and then there are times when he just spikes the ball into the dirt, and you go, "What was that?
What were you doing?
What are you doing?" But if you look at his athletics and his actual numbers, they leap off the page. He's a freak of nature for a quarterback athletically. If he can put together the rest of it, he could be dangerous, but now your QB room is confusing.
I've also been hearing rumors that they're plan on starting Watson.
Yes.
I'm
Apparently
so
apparently
confused.
Monken is going to attempt to rehabilitate Watson.
I'm so confused.
I'm confused too. I don't get it. But they've got him enough weapons finally. And
Yeah, true.
they've got him at least one good offensive tackle and another one that could be good. You got a center in there. I like this draft. Overall, I think this might be the best Browns draft I've seen in a long time. I'm giving it an A. Solid A. Well done. In fact, I'm gonna rate this up. This is an A plus.
I think that's reaching a little bit. Like as we pointed out, A pluses are pretty special. A plus plus even more special.
Yeah, definitely not an A plus plus, but
I'm
definitely a
I'm
solid A.
I'm definitely at an A. I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't think A plus, but I'm definitely at an A because I do like pretty much their first 5 to 6 picks, and then once we get to like Justin Jefferson, Joy Royo, Taylor Green, Carson Ryan, that's kind of my feelings on those. They're
yeah,
kind of eh. So I'm saying that they made really good choices up until then, and the others are just eh, okay. You never know what you're gonna get.
yeah,
So I'm at an A. I don't think they stole anybody outside of maybe you know Denzel Boston, but even he was rated as potentially going into the second. So that's why I'm at an A because there was no obvious like
yeah,
massive steals, but just a bunch of really good picks at the spots they picked them.
yeah. All right. Moving on. Let me give you the rundown on Dallas, and then you can give me your thoughts on Dallas.
They were an interesting team this year. I tell you what.
Yeah, they did some stuff. At round one, pick 11, trading up to get him, they got Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. Round one, pick 23, trading back, they get Malachi Lawrence, the edge from UCF. Round three, pick 92, Jayashawn Barham, edge, Michigan. Round four, pick 112, Drew Shelton, offensive tackle, Penn State. Round four, pick 114, Devin Moore, cornerback, Florida. Round four, pick 137, LT Overton, defensive lineman, Alabama. Round seven, pick 218, Anthony Smith, wide receiver, East Carolina. Chris, your thoughts?
So I know you're not going to like hearing this, but I think they actually managed to pull off a pretty decent draft.
I don't
Um,
like it, but I actually kind of agree.
um, the round one push for safety, Caleb Downs, hands down, great pick, no questions asked. I think moving down, getting edge Malachi Lawrence. I think Malachi Lawrence is a good pick. I don't know if I would like the pick being round one, but we are talking towards the bottom of round one. I'll call it a slight reach, just a very slight reach. They didn't have a round two pick, so slight reach. We'll just call it a slight reach, but I think it's still a good pick. Round three, edge Jashawn Barham. I could go without that pick, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of that pick. If he would have been like one of the round four picks, I might have liked it a little bit more, but I'm still not sure how much I like that much. Um, I do like their offensive tackle Drew Shelton pick. I think that's pretty decent. I think the round four cornerback Devin Moore is fine. Fine. But I kind of like the defensive line LT Overton. I kind of like that pick actually. It's a weird one, but I kind of like it. And round seven, I mean, again, lottery pick Anthony Smith. You never know what you're really gonna get. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm I'm sitting at like an A minus or B plus territory here. I think because I don't really like the Jishan Barham pick, and I think the Malachi Lawrence is a slight reach. Think I'm going to move it to a B plus. I was originally at an A minus, but I think I am going to move it to a B plus.
So I'll give my grade first. This was a B for me.
Okay.
And it does come down to the fact that you got Malachi Lawrence in the first, and you could have traded back into the second and still gotten him.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there would have been. I don't think that he would have been disappeared by there. Also, I feel like it could be better if you plan to use Barham as a linebacker edge rather than the hand in the dirt edge.
Maybe.
He covers a little more ground, but even still, I think that's a reach. Like, put him in one of your round four slots. I do like Drew Shelton. I'm pretty okay with Devin Moore. Overton is fine. That's an interesting.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting pick.
That's
yeah.
an interesting pick. That's weird and interesting for you. That's why you're getting a B. You did some good things and you did some Jerry things.
Yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say it wasn't Jared as much as I was expecting it to be.
No, it was not. Malachi Lawrence
Like
was
that,
a Jerry thing.
like that Caleb Brown's Downs pick. I'm like, holy shit, they didn't Jerry it up.
They
Holy
didn't
fuck.
Jerry that up. They didn't mess it up. Oh my god. So yeah, no, that worked out fairly well for them. So yeah, you kind of got a B. I'm not mad at it.
Fair. Fair.
Chris, walk me through Denver.
Well, they did some things, that's for sure. Now, granted, we can make some arguments here before I even start. They are probably one of the most complete, already built football teams. They didn't have a ton of really big needs, so to speak, but that doesn't excuse some of this behavior we're going to talk about. So, round three, they pick up, because they didn't have a round one or a round two. In round three, they pick up defensive tackle Tyler Onidim out of Texas A&M. Round four, they pick up running back Jonah Coleman out of Washington. Round four, they pick up offensive guard Kage Casey out of Boise State. Round five, they pick up tight end Justin Jolly out of NC State.
I heard it said Jolie, but
is it Jolie?
Oh, I don't know if it's Jolly or Jolie, but
I think Jolly sounds funnier, but I get it.
Does.
Round seven, they picked up safety Miles Scott out of Illinois. Round seven, they picked up tight end Dalen Bentley out of Utah. And round seven, they picked up Red Murdoch out of Buffalo, and that's just a fun name, if nothing else.
And he's also Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. So, with that being said, what's your thoughts on Denver?
You did stuff. I mean, you traded your first round pick. You traded your first round pick to get what's his name from Miami? Waddle.
Waddle. Yeah.
Waddle. You trade so. Boom! Took care of a major need right there.
Yeah, that was pretty much one of your only big needs.
That was one of your only super needs, and you took care of it. You reached for Onidium, and unfortunately, because of where you grabbed him, he's going to have to compete for a starter spot because you've got a hole on your D line there, and that's kind of crappy. I don't like that. In fact, out of all your picks, there's really only one that I thought I liked.
It's what I like.
I don't know if we're going to be the same on it. For me, it's Justin Jolly, tight end out of NC State.
Ooh, I like the Jonah Coleman pick, actually.
I don't mind the Jonah Coleman pick. I think he's a bit of a one-trick pony, unfortunately. And
he can be, but for round four, I think that's a good place for that.
Yeah. I actually like Jolie, though. That's the one that I don't hate. I think Casey will be meh. He's probably going to be okay, but I don't know. The rest of these guys, it's just chaff.
Yeah.
So this is really, to me, like D plus C minus territory. And I think I'm going to go with a D plus.
I'm in full agreement. I'm at D plus. I don't like that. I don't think owning DM at round three makes sense. I think it's a little high. I do like the Jonah Coleman pick a little bit more than you do, but just a little bit. I think Casey is Justin Jolly. I don't have enough info to say like if I thought that was a good pick. I just thought it would be fine. And then it sounds like, maybe you're a little higher on him than me. And then everything after that is God knows what you're getting. So their choices were questionable at best. So yeah, D plus is the very obvious answer here. People are giving them higher grades, by the way. I've seen like anywhere up to B minuses for this.
No,
I do not get it. I do not get it.
I don't either. Um, all right, I'm going to run through the Lions, and you can tell me what you think. Ready?
They did things.
They did things. I don't hate all of them, but
No, I don't hate all of them either.
some of the things I look at and I go, huh?
Yeah.
So, round 1, pick 17, Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson. Round 2, pick 44, Derek Moore, edge, Michigan. Round 4, pick 118, Jimmy Rolder, linebacker, Michigan. Round 5, pick 157, Keith Abney II, cornerback, Arizona State. Round 5, pick 168, Kendrick Law, wide receiver, Kentucky. Round 6, pick 205, Skylar Gill Howard, defensive tackle, Texas Tech. Round 7, pick 222, Tyre West, edge, Tennessee. Chris?
You know, there's maybe two picks here, maybe stretch it to three picks that I think are decent. One obviously good pick. I think the round 1 pick of Blake Miller is an obviously good choice. They needed another offensive tackle. It makes sense. Blake Miller was a good pick. You could argue it might be a slight reach, but I think overall, perfectly fine pick in round 1.
Yeah.
Round 2, edge Derek Moore. I am kind of indifferent on. I think it's a slight reach, but it's an
Also,
okay
I think
edge.
they traded up for him, so like
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know if I would have done that.
I don't think I would have.
But he's fine.
Yeah.
Round 4, linebacker Jimmy Roller. Really didn't like that pick.
Nope.
I think that was not a very good pick. Round 5, cornerback Keith Abney II, I think is a good pick for round 5. He's a little bit of a project, but he's got some utility that I do think is could be good. And if he progresses, he could be a good starter. And then round 5, wide receiver Kendrick Law, I think is a little underrated. I think he's got some ability there to be a decent slot guy. And then the 6th, 7th, I got nothing on that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, people are rating this like as a really good draft. Outside of the first pick, everything after was just kind of a wash. And then the Keith Abney and Kendrick Law picks were coming like at the end and towards round 5, which are fine places for them. So I'm like at a C. I'm unimpressed.
I went with a C plus, just because I'm a little higher on Abney, I think, than you are.
Potentially, yeah.
I really like Abney, even though he is a project. And also, I gave the plus out because they drafted a guy named Tyre.
I mean, fair, but he's a round 7th pick.
I don't care. Tyre is Tyre. That is not Tyree. That is Tyre.
Which I guess, Detroit, Motor City, Tyre.
Yeah, Tyre. Anyway, I didn't like Derek Moore when they took him. That was bad value. You traded up to get him. I don't like it. Don't like it.
Yeah.
Rolder, that was an absolutely bomb pick. Totally worthless.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing. Abney, love the Abney pick. I think he's going to be pretty good for them. Kendrick Law, I think you're right. I think that's a sneaky underrated pick. But unfortunately, you already have a slot receiver.
Yeah.
That's what your main receiver plays is slot.
You didn't need another one, yeah.
You didn't need another one. Exactly.
Well, unless you're worried about him being injured all the time, which fair actually.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. All right. Chris, run me through the Packers.
Ew.
Ew.
All right. Well, I will simply say this was not a great draft by the Packers, but let's run it down. I mean, in comparison to other drafts we've seen, this was not one of their better drafts. Round 2, we have cornerback Brandon Cease out of South Carolina. Round 3, we have defensive tackle Chris McKellen out of Missouri. Round 4, we have edge Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State. Round 5, we have center Jaeger Burton out of Kentucky. Round 6, we have cornerback Domani Jackson out of Alabama. And in round 6, we have kicker Trey Smack out of Florida. Smack!
Okay, so
Yeah, what do you think? What do you
first
see?
off, love the name Trey Smack. You're
Yeah.
getting a partial letter grade just for that. Smack. Let's hope that's the sound
He's
when he
matched to
kicks.
football.
Let's hope that's
Yeah.
the sound he makes. Brandon, is it Cease? Is it Sissy? I don't know.
I've heard it both ways.
I've
Yeah.
heard it both ways. That's not bad. I had him as a round 2 corner. You got him in round 2. That's a
Yeah.
good spot for him. I think you got pretty good value on Denise Sutton, that edge out of Penn State, and Domani Jackson. I think both of those were picks that maybe could have gone a little earlier than they did. But the rest of this is just all kind of garbage, and I don't care one way or the other.
No.
And even then, Domani Jackson is a 6th round pick. Maybe he goes in the 5th. Maybe Sutton goes in the 3rd, but I don't think so. I think he goes earlier in the 4th at best. You traded your 1st round pick for, Micah Parsons. Can't consider that here. You only had 6 picks, but I think you could have done better. Chris McClellan, I'm not a huge fan of that pick there. Jaeger Burton, again, you could have done way better there. So, yeah, this is like a C-.
Yeah, I think you're being even a little nice, even in my opinion.
Well, remember, I bumped them up. I bumped them up half a
No, I
letter
know,
grade
I
for
know.
Trey Smack. So it would have been
Yeah,
a D plus without that pick.
It's funny because I think really the only good pick they did have was their first pick with Brandon Cease. I think that was a decent pick, and everything after that was, what are you doing? So I'm at a D plus. I don't like it. Is it as bad as last year's? Yes, it is. Last year's was actually, I think, better.
Except this year, their first pick, while not in the 1st round, was better than their first pick last year.
Yeah.
Who didn't score a touchdown until the playoffs.
Yeah, for real. I don't know, man. Green Bay these last couple of years has not drafted well.
No, they have not. They have confused me.
Yep.
All right. Houston. What the hell, Houston?
What did we do, Houston?
I got drunk, apparently. Let's talk about it.
Sounds like I might like him better than you a little bit.
8 picks. Round 1, pick 26, Keelan Rutledge, offensive guard, Georgia Tech. Round 2, pick 36, Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, Ohio State. Round 2, pick 59, Marlon Klein, tight end, Michigan. What? Round 4, pick 106, Fabechi Nawayu, offensive guard, Oklahoma. Round 4, pick 123, Wade Woodaz, linebacker.
Woodaz. It's a fun name.
Round 5, pick 141, Kamari Ramsey, safety, USC. Round 6, pick 204, Lewis Bond, wide receiver, Boston College. Round 7, pick 243, Aiden Fisher, linebacker, Indiana. Chris, hit me with it.
All right, so I'm only going to talk about the first 4 rounds because 5, 6, and 7 were basically worthless. So let's talk about the first 4 rounds. Offensive guard Keelan Rutledge at number 26 is a slight reach. I would have preferred to see that in round 2, but I understand that they really needed an offensive guard, and I don't hate that pick as an offensive guard. I just think it could have waited until the 2nd round, or you could even traded out the first pick and got him in the early 2nd instead. Defensive tackle Caden McDonald, I think is actually a good pick in round 2. I had him rated as a round 2 pick, got him in round 2, good pick. Round 2 tight end Marlon Klein. I have no idea who was smoking what when they picked that. I do not like that pick whatsoever. Round 4 offensive guard Fabishi Nawambe. Take it or leave it. I don't hate it, don't love it either. The round 4 pick for linebacker Wade Woodaz, I think is actually a decent pick. I don't mind that pick so much. So I'm sitting at C plus. I think they got an offensive guard, though maybe reached a little bit for him. I think they got Cade McDonald at a good spot. I think their offensive guard in round four could be decent, and I like their round four pick in Wade Woodaz.
I
So C plus ish territory is kind of where I'm at.
I don't have any strong feelings about Woodaz one way or the other. I feel like maybe you could have gotten him a little later. I feel like what my big thing is where you grabbed Keelan Rutledge, where you grabbed Marlon Klein, you could have grabbed Rutledge, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
you could have swapped and gotten
I'd
someone
have
else.
been
Yeah.
very happy with that. Then you pick something better in round one. But
Yeah.
I get Caden McDonald. That's a great pick. I had him as a round one guy. You got him in round two. I like that. That's very good for you. Marlon Klein again. Who was on the pot? What? 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 I
Yeah.
don't. What? Nawayu. Okay, whatever. Woodaz, meh. Kamari Ramsey, meh. All right, you could have done worse. Lewis Bond, Aiden Fisher, okay, he probably could have gone in round six, but you know, again, round six, round seven, you're kind of taking a flyer on an unknown. So I'm giving them a D plus.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm really knocking points for the Rutledge pick. I get you needed a guard, but I don't even think he would have been the one I would have selected there if I wanted to push one up into there. I think I would have gone with Besantis. If you'd have done that, I think I'd have been a little more understanding. But what you did, and then especially the Marlon Klein pick, like, what the crap was that? Whoever's doing your drafting needs to be friggin' drug out into the street and beat with a rubber hose.
That's fair.
Chris, run me through what the Colts did.
Uh, sure, we can do that. Why are you screaming at me, Bud? Bud, why are you screaming at me? Bud. All right. Let me pull it up over on my other side there. All right. So, in no first round pick. So in round two, we got linebacker CJ Allen out of Georgia. Round three, we have safety AJ Halsey out of LSU. Round four, we have offensive guard Jalen Farmer out of Kentucky. Round four, we also got linebacker Bryce Botcher out of Oregon.
Betcher.
Round five, huh?
Betcher.
Is it Bocher?
Betcher.
Oh, Botcher? Betcher?
Betcher.
Weird. All right, round five, we have edge George Gums Jr. out of Florida.
I like that name.
I know, right? Round six, we got edge Caden Curry out of Ohio State. Round seven, we have running back Seth McGowan out of Kentucky. At round seven, we have wide receiver Deion Burks out of Oklahoma. What's your feelings on this draft?
I think this is a sneaky good draft for a lot of good reasons. First off, CJ Allen, in my opinion, should have gone in the first round. And he should have been one of the first line. He should have been, well, not one of the first linebackers off the board, because obviously Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese were better, but he easily could have been the third linebacker off the board, without question, in my opinion. I like the Halsey pick. Halsey could have gone in round two. Most of these guys might have been able to go a little earlier than they were picked. The one that stands out to me, you're probably going to laugh at me for, but I don't care. I think Deion Burks is highly underrated by a lot of people. I think that dude could have gone in like the fourth round.
I think you've picked up somebody else's cracking it, smoking it.
I honestly feel like he could have, but overall,
whoever picked that tight end for the Texans, I think you're borrowing some of his shit right now.
Overall, I honestly feel like I love the draft for the Colts. They filled all of their needs. They look pretty damn good doing all this stuff. Farmer will be fine. I think George Gums and Caden Curry will be okay. But yeah, I think they did a pretty good job overall. I'm going to give them an A-.
All right, I disagree with that. I do like their CJ Allen pick in round two. I think that's a pretty good pick. I could have seen him going in the first, but second is fine too. I think their safety pick in AJ Halsey out of round three is actually a pretty decent pick. Round four, Jalen Farmer is fine, but I'm not a big fan of linebacker Bryce Botcher on round four. I don't really like that as much. George Gums and Caden Curry, I think, are okay picks. And the two round 7 picks are questionable. You just, again, lottery picks. You don't know exactly what you're going to get. I'm at like a B minus. I think they made some good picks early on, and then after that started throwing a bit of gamble risk picks, which could work out, and it could end up being a better draft than I think, or it could blow up in their face and they only come away with like 3 good draft picks.
So I'm pretty sure this next group is going to be the guys that you rip apart for the dumb pick. Um, let's talk about Jacksonville real quick here.
Oh boy, let's talk about Jacksonville.
Let's talk about Jacksonville. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Round 2, pick 56. Nate Bolkercher, tight end, Texas A&M. Round 3, pick 81. Albert Regis, defensive line, Texas A&M. Round 3, pick 88. Emmanuel Pregnon, interior offensive lineman, offensive guard, Oregon. Round 3, pick 100. Jalen Husky, safety, Maryland. Round 4, pick 119. Wesley Williams, edge, Duke. Round 5, pick 164. Tanner Koisiel, tight end, Houston. Round 6, pick 191. Josh Cameron, wide receiver, Baylor. Round 6, pick 203. CJ Williams, wide receiver, Stanford. Round 7, pick 233. Zach Durfee, edge, Washington. Round 7, pick 240. Parker Hughes, linebacker, Middle Tennessee. Chris, rip these guys apart for me.
So I'm just going to put it out there. There's only one player, one, that keeps you from being an F. One.
I'm sure it's the same guy for us.
Probably. So let's first talk about their round 2 pick. Tight end Nate Bokerker. However the fuck you want to say that guy's last name, sorry. But like, dude's a blocking tight end. In round 2. What? What? What are you thinking? You could have easily got him in the 3rd or 4th round. Easy. Like, I don't
Considering the number of 3rd round picks you had, yes.
Like, that's my point. You had so many better. There was about a billion better options here for this. Round 3, defensive tackle Albert Regis, I think is also a slight reach in round 3, even for him, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Offensive guard Emmanuel Pregnon. Congratulations, you made one good pick. Woo! And then everything after that is just questionable. The round 3 Jalen Husky safety pick is maybe could work out. It's hard to say. Round 4 edge Wesley Williams out of Duke. Do not like that. Round 5 tight end Tanner Koisiel. Don't like that. Round 6 Josh Cameron, wide receiver out of Baylor. Could be something.
At round 6,
wide receiver
CJ. Fine.
Yeah, wide receiver CJ Williams out of Stanford. And could be something there too. And then the round 7s I don't really weigh too much because they're kind of lottery picks. This is a straight D minus. You are flirting with F territory if it wasn't for that offensive guard pick.
I firmly agree. The only pick that kept you from a D minus was Emmanuel Pregnon, who could have easily gone in round 2.
Yeah.
And you got him pretty late in round 3. I pretty much hate the rest of your draft. And
for the most part, yeah.
You need to relook and rethink your life. Go sit in the corner.
Yeah,
Chris,
pretty much.
Take me through Kansas City's draft.
Kansas City. Man, no one's going to be happy about this except for Kansas City fans.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's talk about it. Round 1, they move up to number 6 to pick up cornerback Mansour Delane out of LSU. Hell of a pick. That's a great pick. I know there are some Kansas City fans that are upset that they went and picked a number 1 cornerback in round 1, but you're retarded if you think that. Also in round 1, they got number 29 defensive tackle Peter Woods, another just really good pick in round 1. Round 2, we have edge R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, not bad. Round 4, they got cornerback Jadon. It's not Candy, but it looks like Candy. Canada out of
Kennedy.
Oregon.
Yep.
Round 5, they got running back Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska. I think that's a sneaky good
That's
pick
a
in round
sneaky good
5.
pick.
Round 5, they also got wide receiver Cyrus Allen out of Cincinnati. I also think that's a pretty decent pick.
Hmm.
And round 7, they just shot their shot, got quarterback Garrett Newsomeyer out of LSU. Boy, they basically didn't miss. Their edge, R. Mason Thomas in round 2 could be argued maybe not the best pick. And then their round 4 cornerback Jaden Kennedy out of Oregon could also be kind of a questionable pick. But I think the rest of them are actually pretty damn good.
Yep.
This is unfortunately an A plus for Kansas City, and it makes me really sad.
See, I bumped him to an A. I
Okay,
bumped him down from a plus because you probably could have gotten Mansour delayed at 9. You let Cleveland
maybe
fleece you to move up to 6.
that's possible, but they really wanted to
I
make
get
sure
it. I
that they
get it.
got him.
But
So yeah,
that's the only real flaw I find with this. I think you may have reached a little bit on Thomas. You may have reached a little bit on Kennedy. I'm not as high on Allen as you are, but yeah, that's a fine pick. And value for Newsmeyer. That dude could have easily gone before the 7th round, in my opinion.
oh yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
I'm not even mad at that.
no,
I think the best part of this draft for me is that R is his actual name. It doesn't
yeah, I know it's
does not
hilarious.
stand for anything. It's just
Nope,
literally an
just
R.
R.
Apparently, the men in his family all have a tradition of starting with the name R, but his mother didn't want to give him an R name, so she just R. I like it. I like it. So yeah, this is an A. If you're not a Kansas City fan, you probably hate this draft. If you're a Kansas City fan, you should be scratching your back, clapping yourself on it. This was well done by you guys. All right, I'm gonna run through the
Unfortunately,
Chargers, and then you can kind of give me your thoughts on it.
yeah,
They had 8 picks.
they did.
They had 8 picks. Round 1, pick 22, they got Akeem Messidor out of Miami, edge. Round 2, pick 63, Jake Slaughter, center, Florida. Round 4, pick 105, Brennan Thompson, wide receiver, Mississippi State. Round 4, pick 117, Travis Burke, offensive tackle, Memphis. Round 4, pick 131, Genesis Smith, safety, Arizona. Round 5, pick 145, Nick Barrett, defensive lineman, South Carolina. Round 6, pick 202, Logan Taylor, offensive guard, Boston College. Round 6, pick 206, Alex Harkey, offensive guard, Oregon. Chris, your thoughts?
I think they drafted well. I like their round 1 edge Akeem Mesidor pick. I think that's a really good pick for
I
them.
agree.
I really like their round 2 Jake Slaughter guard pick.
Yep.
I think that's a fantastic pick in round 2. Round 4, Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi. I don't dislike the pick. It's a questionable pick, but again, round 4-ish, I don't think it's bad. Round 4, offensive tackle Travis Burke, Memphis. That one I'm not as much of a fan out of, but I don't have enough of a read to really say if it's bad either. Round 4, safety Genesis Smith out of Arizona. I think is actually an underrated pick. I really like that actually quite a bit. Round 5, defensive tackle Nick Barrett out of South Carolina. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Round 6, offensive guard Logan Taylor. I don't have a really high or low expectations on. And same thing with their offensive guard Alex Harkley out of Oregon. I don't have a high or low real take on that. So overall, I think they drafted pretty well. I'm at an A minus. I think it's pretty decent. There's not any major steals, but not any really big fuck ups either.
Yeah, I also gave them an A minus. Don't hate the Brennan Thompson pick. I think it's a small reach, but I don't hate it. Burke, on the other hand, I think that's a bigger reach, but again, okay. Genesis Smith, I love the Genesis Smith pick. I think that was sneaky good. Obviously, Messidor and Slaughter, you know that I'm high on both of them, and I love those picks. I also kind of low-key like the Harkey pick. He probably could have gone a little earlier, maybe round 5 or something. But overall, good value, good draft, A minus. But now we got to talk about the other LA team.
Yeah, but let's talk about the LA Rams. You ready to talk about the LA Rams?
Do we have to?
Yes, we do.
Damn it.
All right, round one. With the 13th overall pick, the Rams selected quarterback Ty Simpson out of Alabama. We'll get to that. Round two, they picked up tight end Max Clare out of Ohio State. All right. Round three, we got offensive tackle Keegan Trost out of Missouri. All right. Round six, we got wide receiver C.J. Daniels out of Miami. And then round seven, we got defensive tackle Tim Keenan III out of Alabama. Um, I want to roast him real bad, but I'll let you go first. What's your thoughts?
The only pick, and I don't like where you got him, but the only pick I'm not immediately predisposed to hate is Max Clare.
I understand, but I really think the round three would have been a better pick
Yes.
for him.
If you'd have gotten him where you got Keegan Trost, I'd have been a lot happier. But you did kind of need a tight end, and I'm not predisposed immediately to hate what you did. Everything else, I think if you threw it in the trash and lit it on fire, you'd have been better off. I'm gonna beg you, Rams, for God's sakes, from now on, trade every first rounder you have for veterans because you have more luck doing that than you ever do picking first rounders. Your window is very small, and it literally this is win now mode, and your GM and your coach went on air to defend the Ty Simpson pick, saying you didn't see anybody at 13 that immediately made your team better. What kind of drugs are you on that you got in Los Angeles that allow you to say that with a straight face? Because I want some.
What's even funnier is when they were even doing that, if you watched Sean McVay's face, it didn't look like he was very happy.
No, it does
Sounded
not.
like he was there. Sounds like he was there for press reasons only, and he did not look very thrilled about it whatsoever.
No, I think this was a GM pick. I think he got overruled. Um, this is an F. This is absolutely an F. If I could give,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it a minus because there is a team I think that did worse. But this is an F. In fact, I'm going to go down. This is an F minus. This was bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is an F minus minus. This is horrendous. Um, Ty Simpson, there were rumors he'd go in round one, but not that fucking early. That
No.
is ridiculous.
That's dumb.
I think Max Clare was a late round three, round four prospect at best, and everything else was utter trash. You would have been better handing all of your picks to the homeless and asking them to pick for you. This was awful. This was straight up awful.
You could have done better with
I
a
know you have
dartboard.
another. I know there's another team that you disliked more. I will disagree, and I will stand by their picks, and we'll get to it when we get there. And what by stand by their picks, I mean I just won't give them an F. But Jesus Christ, this was. I have no idea what you were thinking. I think from now on, trade out your first picks for anything you can get. And you know what? Even better yet, trade as many of your picks in general. Just you're not good at it. You're bad at drafting. Stop doing it.
They are really bad at drafting. Every so often they find a diamond in the rough like Puka Nakua or something, but for the most part I look at it and I just
Most
go,
people didn't expect that. Let's be honest.
no,
Like that was luck.
that was luck. And I don't think, no, you're bad at drafting. All right, I'm going to run through the Raiders picks, and then you can tell me what you thought. Round one, pick one, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. The most obvious no-duh pick in history.
Pretty much.
Round two, pick 38, Traden Stukes, safety, Arizona. Round three, pick 67, Kieron Crawford, edge, Auburn. Round three, pick 91, Trey Zune III, offensive guard, interior offensive lineman, Texas A&M. Round four, pick 101, Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee.
Man, he dropped hard.
Oh, yeah, but I love that.
That's a good pick, though. Yeah.
Round four, pick 122, Mike Washington Jr., running back, Arkansas. Round five, pick 150, Dalton Johnson, safety, Arizona. So you took both their safeties. What the? Round five, pick 175, Hezekiah Masses, cornerback, California. Round 6, pick 195, Malik Benson, wide receiver, Oregon. Round 7, pick 229, Brandon Cleveland, defensive tackle, North Carolina State. Chris?
I'm in a weird place with this because I think they made a lot of good picks and a lot of questionable picks. So, um, first off, we'll talk about the obvious number one. Fernando Mendoza makes sense. Nobody questioned this. This is expected. The round two pick of Traden Stukes, I think, is a little high. I don't like that choice at that position. Then we go to round three, Edge Kenron Crawford. While I don't dislike the player, again, I question, is this a little high of a pick for him? Personally speaking. And then we got round three, Terry Zune the third. Again, I don't dislike the player, but third round, maybe, I'm not sure. But then we get to round four, and we got Jermod McCoy at round four, easily a steal, no question in my book.
Absolutely.
Round four, running back Mike Washington Jr. I think, again, a good pick, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He could have easily gone into the third round.
Easily.
Round five, Dalton Johnson. This is more where I am okay with this pick.
Yes.
I think this is a fine pick at round five. Round five, Zeke Masses. I don't have a good feel on, so I'm neither high or low on that. But round six, Malik Benson out of Oregon, I think is a kind of an underrated pick at round six. I kind of like that. And the round seven pick, lottery pick, who knows? So I, I I like their very first pick. Then they made a bunch of questionable picks in the middle, but then they finished round four through seven in a pretty good way. So I think I'm gonna stick with my original grade at A minus. Like this could have easily been an A plus territory if they didn't kind of screw up their second and third round picks. But I think A minus makes sense here.
Yeah, I agree with you firmly. I think that's a big reach on Stukes, especially considering Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the consensus third best
Yeah,
safety,
he was
was
still
still
there.
on the
Yeah.
board. Kieron Crawford, I think that's a reach. Um, Zune, I'm okay, whatever. I'm a little wishy-washy on. But I loved McCoy in Washington where they got him. Dalton Johnson was pretty good where they got him. Masses, I don't really have a feel for. Benson, I think, was a sneaky underrated pick. He probably could have gone in the fifth, maybe even the fourth, low fourth. And obviously you've got your roll the dice pick with Cleveland. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is an A minus. You did some very, very good things, but you also did some things where I question your sanity.
Yeah, that's fair.
Chris, walk me through the Dolphins.
Well, they needed a lot of picks, and they had a lot of picks.
13 of them.
So, yeah, so we'll go over all of them. Some are better than others for sure, but I mean, quite frankly, when you need as much as they need, just about anything's better than nothing. So, round one, they got offensive tackle Caden Proctor, absolutely great pick. Round one with 27th pick, they got cornerback Chris Johnson out of San Diego State, great pick. Round two, they went with linebacker Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. Round three, they picked up wide receiver Caleb Douglas out of Texas Tech. Round three, they picked up tight end Will
Case Merrick.
Kaczmarek. Is it Kaczmarek? Okay, Kaczmarek, Ohio State. Round three, they picked up wide receiver Chris Bell out of Louisville. Round four, they picked up linebacker Trey Moore out of Texas. Round four, they picked up linebacker Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh. Round five, they picked up safety Michael Taffy out of Texas. Round five, they picked up wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr. out of Missouri. Round five, they picked up tight end Sendoyo Traore out of Mississippi State. Round six, they picked up offensive guard DJ Campbell out of Texas. And round seven, they picked up edge Max, holy crap, Llewellyn out of Iowa.
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn? Jesus. Looks like a weird name now. What's your thoughts on Miami?
This is a tough draft for me to grade because they had so many picks and they needed so much. And
Yeah.
Okay. Start with Caden Proctor. I think you reached for him at 12. I think you had better options.
I disagree slightly, but I understand.
I think there were better options available. Like Monroe Freeling, I think was still available, and I think he would have been a better pick there for you. At least on my grades. Again, he's a first rounder. I would have gone with a different choice there. Chris Johnson. That also was kind of a reach, especially with Avian Terrell
Eh,
available.
we're talking about late first rounder though, so I get it.
Yeah, he we kind of had him as like an early second, late first guy anyway. But I would have like considering who was still available, especially with like Avian Terrell, and if you didn't like Jermod McCoy because of the medical, and he slipped into the fourth anyway, you
Yeah,
kind of you look at it and you go, okay. I mean, it's not terrible. I do
no,
like Jacob Rodriguez. That was a good pick. You had that kind of put out, but I think he went before the dude from Texas, and I think I would have gone with the dude from Texas over Rodriguez. But that's just me. Caleb Douglas, okay.
that one's a little bit of a reach for
That's
me.
a bit
Yeah,
of a reach. So is Case Merrick, in my opinion. Not huge fans of that. Chris Bell, I like that. He could have gone in the second. You got
he
him in
should
the
have gone in the
third.
second. Yeah,
Should have gone in the second. You got him in the third. I really like that pick. Trey Moore, bah. Kyle Lewis, on the other hand, he could have gone a lot earlier. I think the
hmm
big question with him is he a linebacker or is he a safety? Where are they going to play him?
yeah,
He can
yeah.
play either or. Um, Michael Taff, you know that I called him out. I like him. I like his
Yeah.
ability to lead. And I think the fifth round is right about where he should go.
Yep.
The rest of it, I don't
Right.
really have a feel on. So this to me is like B minus C plus territory.
Ooh,
Um,
I think you're being a little rude. Just a little though.
um, so I think I'm gonna go with a B minus.
I more like it than you do. I do like the Caden Proctor pick because I think you can interchange those depending on where you're going to put them on the line. So depending on where they're going to put them, I think it's a good pick. I think Chris Johnson, yeah, you could have picked the other guy over him for corner Terrell, but I think Chris Johnson is still, again, in my brain, you could kind of interchange those and be fine for the most part. Jacob Rodriguez, I think, is a pretty decent pick. The Caleb Douglas pick, I don't like. The the tight end pick out of Ohio State, I don't dislike it as much as you, but I don't love it either. I'm kind of like indifferent on it,
Mm-hmm.
especially at round three. I'm kind of like,
Yeah, if
probably
we'd have
should
gone
have
in
gone
round
round
four
four,
with him,
maybe.
I think I'd have been better with him.
Yeah. Chris Bell's a steal in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike Trey Moore, but I don't love it either. But I do like the Kyle Lewis pick more, and I do like the Michael Taff as well. So I'm actually sitting at more of a um, kind of a B plus A minus territory. I think I'll give it more of a B plus just because there's a couple of picks that I just think are a little reaches or a little early, or maybe they could have swapped players slightly. But I think overall, I think it's a good draft for them, considering the fact they didn't have a lot to work with in the beginning, anyways. And so most of these guys are going to end up probably seeing the field at some point. So I think it's a pretty decent draft.
All right.
I'm okay with
So I'll run through the Vikings and then you can defend this.
it.
Again, I will go out and state I did not fail them. Round 1, pick 18, Caleb Banks, defensive tackle, Florida. Round 2, pick 51, Jake Golday, linebacker, Cincinnati. Round 3, pick 82, Dominique Orange, the Big Citrus, defensive tackle, Iowa State. Round 3, pick 97, Caleb Tiernan, offensive tackle,
Mhm.
Northwestern. Round 3, pick 98, Jacoby Thomas, safety, Miami. Round 5, pick 159, Max Bredesen, tight end slash fullback, Michigan. Round 5, pick 163, Charles Demings, quarterback, Stephen F. Austin. Round 6, pick 198, Demond Claiborne, running back, Wake Forest. Round 7, pick 235, Gavin Gerhardt, center, Cincinnati. Chris.
All right, so let's just get the elephant out of the room first. At first, the Caleb Banks pick seems questionable until you realize that he got cleared medicals before going into the draft. Once you see cleared medicals and you look at what he can produce and how he plays, this guy was definitely going to be a round one guy. He just was. There's no questions. most consensus boards agree that he was going to be a round one guy if it wasn't for that injury. So if you rule out that last year with that injury and you look at what he can produce and how he can produce and the way that our team likes to run their defense, Caleb Banks actually makes a ton of sense. He is not a raw prospect. He is a day one starter easily, as long as he stays healthy. And I will say the grid that I give here may sound a little high, but I want to make it very clear. It solely depends on if he remains healthy. If he's constantly injury prone, this grade drops by damn near a full letter. But if he stays healthy, he is easily a steal in this draft. No question in my mind. Moving on, linebacker Jake Golday, absolutely great pick in round two. I don't think there's a problem. I have no problems with Jake Golday with the way that he likes to play and the way that we typically use linebackers. I really do think that's a good, solid pick. Dominique Orange Big Citrus, I think, is a great nose tackle. He takes up a lot of space. Um, and the way Flores defense kind of works, they do on occasion, I should say actually more about half the time do use nose tackles. And so I think having Big Citrus just stand there and take up a shit ton of space and make it really hard to run through the center is kind of what his objective would be. I mean, he isn't like Citrus isn't one of those guys that has like a lot of tools to make things difficult. He's just big. He's just big guy hold center. And he's really good at it, and we're kind of okay with that, especially with the rest of the talents on our edges. We don't need a guy who's going to try to rush the pass or anything. We just need a guy that sits there and goes, okay, runners are not getting through me. And that's basically all he's doing. I think offensive tackle Caleb Tierman is actually a pretty good pick. Um, it's a depth pick, is the way I would put it. You pick him because you're worried about other guys getting injured, and if you look at our offensive tackles, that is a territory that we do have problems with. So having a guy being depth that's a decent offensive tackle makes sense. Safety Jacoby Thomas is fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think he's got the ability to play the role, but we are kind of worried about long-term issues with that. Round three seems like a little high of a pick, so I'm kind of knocking him on that one. I don't like that pick at that round. Um, Round five, they have him. He's a tight end, but we already have him labeled as apparently on our depth chart as a fullback. Max Braidson. I actually like that a lot. I think that's just a fun pick. I mean, Minnesota is known for using fullbacks. We have to have our fullback.
And
Our
we
other
just
one
lost
retired.
ours because he retired.
Yeah, we just lost ours, so we're bringing in another one. I like it a lot. Um, Cornerback Charles Demings, I think is actually, you know, he has the potential to be a starter, but he has a lot of rawness to him still at this point in time. So he could turn out to be something. He could turn out to be nothing. But it is. I mean, once we're getting to round five, round six territory, you're kind of expecting that. I don't dislike this pick. I actually kind of like it. And running back Damon Claiborne, I think is a fun pick. Especially knowing that Aaron Jones is probably not sticking around long term much longer. Like this is probably, I would imagine, his last year at this point. Like we were already debating if he should have already left at this point. Um, so I think getting another guy that could potentially turn into something really good is a good choice here, especially because you didn't want to pick any of the other running backs earlier. I'm actually giving this a B, just a solid B. And remember, I want to make it clear, this is very heavily tinged on the high risk, high reward pick in Caleb Banks. If you get the high reward, this is easily a B. If you hit high risk, this drops to immediately a C minus territory.
So, my feelings after day one and day two, I wanted to give this an F double minus so hard because I hated it. But then my brother here told me something. He said, stop being a fan and look at it from another perspective. So I took a step back and became an evaluator. While I agree that the upside for Caleb Banks is huge, I question whether or not it was an upside that we in particularly needed. I get it, but I still don't like it.
I think they did it because of losing and trading out Grenard. I think they wanted another really solid pass rusher. And I think that's why they did it.
Potentially, yes. I still don't like it because if you wanted a pass rusher, I think Mesidor was still there, and I think that would have been better off. And he's an edge rusher. If you wanted somebody in the middle of the line, okay, I kind of get it.
They
I'm
kind of
not,
wanted more of that. It was obvious,
I'm
yeah.
not mad at it, but at the same time, they do tend to run weird defensive fronts because of how our DC likes to run his
Flores, yeah.
because of how
He
Brian
likes to he
Flores.
likes to stilt things and make things look confusing. Yeah.
Yes. So, okay. I don't hate Jake Galladay where we got him. Or Galday. I'm going to make that mistake so many times. I think he's a good linebacker. I think CJ Allen is better. And I really wish we would have gone with CJ Allen there over Galday. But it's still not a terrible pick, and that's about where he should have gone. So, I at first didn't like the orange pick. I didn't understand it, but looking at it from the perspective of a nose tackle and somebody to just the old Williams wall idea. Pat
Yeah,
Williams.
that's exactly what it was.
He's
Yeah.
Pat Williams. He's not Kevin Williams. Kevin Williams was the rusher. I think that's what they're trying to remake.
Yeah.
If you look at Banks, Banks is Kevin Williams. Orange is Pat Williams.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. Yeah.
and they're trying to kind of remake the Williams wall. The guy who did all this picking, Brzezinski, he's been with the team for like 19 years or something.
Yeah.
He's been around a long time, so he remembers the Williams wall, and so it's entirely possible that he's got that mindset.
Right.
So I can see that. Caleb Tiernan, I think Tiernan moves inside to guard. His arms are a little bit shorter.
Probably, yeah.
And you could move him inside to guard, and then since we need a center, you could take one of our guards and turn them into a center. Is I think what happens if you were to ask me.
Right.
But then you also have this guy who can bounce outside to tackle if somebody gets hurt because we've had some injury issues with our tackles. I don't hate Jacoby Thomas. I do think it was a bit of a reach there, but given we didn't have a round 4 pick, I understand. Yeah. Also, he's basically played in like 4 defensive systems in college and has adapted to all of them. And thus, the way that Flores runs his defense, I think he looked at that and went, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Love the Bredesen pick. At first, I didn't understand it, and then I looked into him, and I was like, oh, he's a fullback. Got it. We need our fullbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love Charles Demings, and you know that when we did our draft call-out, I called out Claiborne as a keep an eye on player. So I think that's really good. I think he'll potentially eventually be a starter for us. Not this year. Give him another year, 2, and he could easily be a starter for us. Same goes for Demings. I think both of them are athletic and have potential all-pro on both of them if they pan out. But just because of the Banks thing and everything else, I gave this a C. I'm just upset by it a little bit. I think we could have done better. If it works out, I'm willing to bump the grade up to a B. If that works out like the Williams wall and Banks isn't injured and he turns out to be what everything thinks he is, I could go as high as a B. But right now, because I am pessimistic instead of optimistic, I'm going to go with a C. And I'm willing to also admit that I'm pessimistic.
I get it.
Chris, take me through New England.
They did things. They definitely did things.
They did stuff.
Some good things and some weird things. All right, with their number 1 pick, number 28, they picked offensive tackle Caleb Luma out of Utah. Not a bad pick. Like I said, I was a little lower on him than you. Originally, I had him graded as a round 2, but round 1's fine. Late round 1.
Yeah.
Round 2, they got edge Gabe Jacos out of Illinois. Round 3, they got tight end Eli Raridon out of Notre Dame. Round 5, they got cornerback Karen Prunty out of Wake Forest. Round 6, they got offensive tackle Demetrius Crownover out of Texas A&M. Round 6, they got linebacker Namade Obazar out of TSU. Round 7, they picked up quarterback Behren Morton out of Texas Tech. Jeez, okay. Round 7, they picked up running back J.M. Miller out of Alabama. And round 7, they picked up edge Quintavious Hutchins out of Boston College. What's your thoughts?
All right, so let's just cut the round sevens now. I
Fair.
don't give a crap about any of
So
them.
I will say Quintavious is spelled in the most wild way I've ever
Oh,
seen.
absolutely. That's a fantastic spelling. But I don't really care about any of them. Lomu, that's fine. That's fine. Especially at the end of round one. He's a project tackle. You definitely needed a tackle. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. That's not bad. Jockus, uh, eh. I don't hate it.
Seems like a little bit of a reach in round two,
A little
personally,
bit of a
but
reach there. I don't think you needed Raritan. I don't.
no.
Not a reach. Like, the player is fine where you
The play's
kept
fine. They
him.
just didn't need
You
him.
just
Yeah.
didn't need a tight end, and I don't understand why you grabbed that. Prunty, that's a reach. Absolutely a huge reach. I don't understand what you were thinking there. I don't get it. Crownover, on the other hand, I think Crownover probably could have gone 100
He
picks
should have gone
before.
in.
Yeah,
I was gonna say he should have probably gone in actually like round 4, to
where
be
you
honest with
grabbed,
you.
I think where they grabbed Raritan, they could have grabbed Crownover, and I'd have been happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been fine. I'd have been a-okay with that. I, I don't really know much about Obazor, so
I got nothing on
I
that
don't
either.
really
Yeah.
care. This is like a C minus. Um, I don't hate Lomu. I don't hate Jockus, although it's a bit of a reach. And you got great value for Crownover, and the rest of this you could set on fire, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I'm not far off. I'm pretty much at a C. And the only reason is because I do think they got a stealing crown over in round 6, and that's the only reason they got bumped up to a C is for that
Yeah,
value.
yeah.
Outside of that, I'm pretty much in agreement. They did fine, and then they lit a bunch of shit on fire. Okie dokie, sounds good.
Yep. All right, let me run through the Saints here. This is also kind of an odd draft, in my opinion. They had 8 picks. Round 1, pick 8, Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. Round 2, pick 42, Christian Meller, defensive line, Georgia. Round 3, pick 73, Oscar Delp, tight end, Georgia. Round 4, pick 132, Jeremiah Wright, interior offensive line. I think he's a guard from Auburn. Round 4, pick 136, Bryce Lance, wide receiver, North Dakota State. Round 5, pick 172, Lorenzo Styles, senior, cornerback, Ohio State. Round 6, pick 190, Barium Brown, wide receiver, LSU. Round 7, pick 219, TJ Hall, cornerback, Iowa. Chris, your thoughts?
This is another one for me that's a little hard to grade because I think they made good choices, but I don't think they necessarily got good value, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Um, so their round 1 pick of Jordan Tyson, I think is good. I think that's a good pick.
Yes.
I think that's solid. I don't think that's a screw up at all. That's good. Round 2, their defensive tackle Christian Miller, I'm kind of indifferent on. Might be a little high of a pick, but he's still a good defensive tackle, so I'm okay with that. Round 3, tight end Oscar Delp. Or is it Delp or Dello?
Delp.
Delp, right? Okay. Didn't I from my angle, like I couldn't tell if that was a P or not. Um, I I don't love it. I don't hate it. Round 3 seems to be a little high for me, but Round 4, offensive guard Jeremiah Wright. I actually do like. I think that's a good pick. I'm not mad about that. Round 4, wide receiver Bryce Lance out of North Dakota State. I think is a good pick, just not at round 4. If he was round 5, I would have been happier about it. Round 5, safety Lorenzo Styles Jr. I am indifferent on. And then their round 6 and round 7 picks, I'm also fairly indifferent on. So I'm kind of in a torn space because I don't think they did bad, but I don't think they did good either. I think I'm gonna go B minus. I think they got good picks, just at not the best value, if that makes sense.
I firmly agree. The only thing is, I rated them a C. And here's why.
Okay.
I did a little more looking. Lorenzo Styles, reach. Since you didn't do enough there on that, no offense. That was a reach. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Bryce Lance, I don't hate. Could have been worse. Could have been better. Jeremiah Wright, I like that pick. I think that's fine. Oscar Delp, I also kind of like, but
Okay.
I think I'd have been happier with him in round 4 than round 3. Christian Miller, also kind of a reach. I think I'd have been happier with him in round 3. that's kind of why you get a C. You got good players. I think you just reached on most of them except for Jordan Tyson.
Pretty much.
Fair?
Yeah, I get it.
All right, Chris, walk me through the Giants.
The Giants. The New York Giants. At least it's not the New York Jets, although they both actually drafted fairly well this year,
Yeah, they did.
surprisingly enough. All right, let's talk about the New York Giants. Round one, they pick up. They have him listed as linebacker slash edge. Arvell Reese at number 5, easily a great pick, no questions asked.
No questions.
Round pick at number 10, they got offensive tackle Francis Maligoa.
Yep, you
Maligoa.
got it.
I love that pick. I am
Yep.
not mad about that pick whatsoever. Round two, they got cornerback Colton Hood. Again, great pick. Round three, they got wide receiver Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. That's fine for round three, actually. Round six, defensive tackle Bobby Jamison Travis out of Auburn. Okay.
Okay.
Round six, offensive guard J.C. Davis out of Illinois. Yeah.
Okay.
And round six, linebacker Jake Kelly out of BYU. So what's your thoughts?
I think this was a pretty damn good draft. Loved Arvell Reese, loved Maui Goa. I'm very fine with Colton Hood. Um, Malachi Fields, I think, was great for round 3. I think he might have been able to go at the end of round 2. And the round 6s are just kind of like flyer picks. Overall, I think you vastly improved your team. You're going to protect your quarterback, Jackson Dart. You're going to make sure that Scattaboo can get through the line. You're going to make opposing defenses wish that they weren't playing you every week. Or opposing offenses, because Arvell Reese is just, good lord, you got him in that beastly edge rusher last year from Penn State. That's not even fair. Malachi Fields will be a good wide receiver to add to your collection, and Colton Hood is a pretty good cornerback for you guys. This is like an A+.
I firmly agree. This is A+. This was the team that was closest to my A++. If they would have landed even one of those round sixes as like a flyer, that's really good.
One of those round sixes, just like, that would have been an A++ for me.
Yeah, they were very close. Because quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, at this point in time, they didn't miss on a single pick. They made really good picks.
Yeah.
And then the round sixes were just kind of like, nah, let's just see what we get.
Agreed. All right. Let me give you the Jets draft. Round 1, pick 2, David Bailey, edge, Texas Tech. Round 1, pick 16, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. Round 1, pick 30, Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. Round 2, pick 50, D'Angelo Pons, cornerback, Indiana. Round 4, pick 103, Darrell Jackson Jr., defensive line, Florida. Round 4, pick 110, Cade Klubnik, quarterback, Clemson. Round 6, pick 188, Inez Cooper, guard, Miami. Round 7, pick 228, VJ Payne, Kansas State. Chris, your thoughts?
Again, we're talking about a pretty damn good draft in my opinion. I really like David Bailey at number 2, no questions. I was very high up on the Kenyon Sadiq pick. I know that some people were a little less high on that, but I really like it.
I like it too.
I like Omar Cooper Jr. at the very end of the first round as well. I think cornerback D'Angelo Pons in round 2 is perfectly acceptable. Maybe a slight reach, but still pretty good for the most part.
I think that's a slight reach, but yeah.
Round 4, defensive tackle Darrell Jackson Jr. I don't love the pick, but at round 4, I don't hate it either. Round 4, picking up quarterback Cade Klubnik, I actually think isn't bad. I'm worried long term about that pick, but at the same time, I do see them going, well, look at who our quarterback is this year. He's obviously not long term. Can Cade Klubnik surprise us and be potentially a guy that could be really good? If he's not, then obviously we're going to get a pretty decent draft next year for somebody potentially. So I get it. They're taking a flyer and just seeing what they're going to get out of him. Round 4 maybe it's a little high for him, but they didn't have a round 5. Maybe you could argue they trade down to get him. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't love it. And then round 6 and 7, again, I don't have a high opinion on. I'm at an A. I think this is a really good draft. It's not quite an A plus. It's not
Mm-hmm.
quite as good as the Giants, but it's still very good and an A.
I firmly agree. I do want to push back on one thing, and that's your round 6 and round 7. If you look into those guys, both of
Hmm.
them could have gone in the fourth round, fourth or fifth, in my opinion. I think they're both very, very good players. Um, I think they got great value for both Cooper and Payne. But yeah, the rest of this, while I'm not huge on Darrell Jackson Jr., and I think there was a little reach for D'Angelo Pons, taking that flyer on Klubnik, I love to death. Because I think you've seen what his high is, you know what his low is, and if you can polish him up, I mean, you're the Jets, so the chances of that are slim, but
The chances are pretty slow, yeah.
they're not none, and you really did get some good weapons. Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq, added to your defense with Bailey. Like I said, this is an A. This is very, very good. I think you did a great job. I would have liked to have seen you hit just a little more on the rather than Pons where you got him. I get it, you didn't have a round 3. You traded that away to get up to get Cooper. Pons and Jackson are the two that keep it, in my opinion, from being an A+. But other than that, this is an A. I love it.
Fair enough.
All right, Chris, walk me through this. Philadelphia.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can talk about Philly.
Yeah, we kind of have to.
All right. Round 1 with the 20th overall pick, they completely undercut another team and take wide receiver Mekhi Lemon. That was kind of shitty, but at the same time, I understand
I
it.
like it.
Round 2, they pick up tight end Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. Round 3, they pick up offensive tackle Markel Bell out of Miami. Round 5, they pick up quarterback Cole Payton out of North Dakota State. Don't get that one. Round 6, they picked up offensive guard Makai Morris out of Georgia. Round 7, they pick up safety Cole Wisniewski. Wisniewski? Jesus, out of Texas Tech.
Wisniewski?
Wisniewski? I have no idea. Round 7, they pick up defensive tackle Uar Brenard. IPP program? What the hell?
Yeah, International Player Program. He's from Nigeria.
Okay, did not see that coming. Round 7, edge Keyshawn James Newby out of New Mexico. So what do you think?
Basically, everything past Lemon and Stowers can be burned at the stake.
For the most part.
Like, I don't understand you getting Cole Payton. I don't think where you picked him was wrong. I think that's a perfectly acceptable area to pick him. But why?
Why'd you pick him? Yeah.
But, like, why? And Markel Bell, what the crap, man? If you'd have picked Bell where you grabbed Payton, I think I'd have been a lot happier. You could have totally done something better with that third round pick. You guys blew this terribly. This I'm giving you a D plus because your first 2 picks were pretty good.
I'm not gonna quite go.
Everything after that, toss it in the trash and set it on fire, please.
I'm not gonna quite go that low because I do think their first 2 picks are quite good. Markel Bell is a reach. I don't love the Cole Payton pick, and the Makai Morris is fine? Question mark. I'm gonna go C plus. I don't think it's as terrible as you think, but man, I think a lot of people are highly rating this way higher. I see people rating this up into like the A's.
No.
Just because of that Makai Lemon pick. And that's the only reason they are. And I'm like, I get it. Makai Lemon's a great pick. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, but
that doesn't make this grade an instant F though, or an instant A. Sorry,
no,
I just don't.
It does
not. But C plus B, I was waiting B minus potentially, but looking at the rest of, honestly, looking at him a little bit more, I think C plus is probably a little bit more fair. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
All right, let me run through the Pittsburgh Steelers here for you.
Pittsburgh.
Round 1, pick 21, Max Ian Achor, offensive tackle, Arizona State. Round 2, pick 47, Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. Round 3, pick 76, Drew Aller, quarterback, Penn State. What? Round 3, pick 85, Dalen Everett, cornerback, Georgia. Round 3, pick 96, the mullet man himself, Jennings Dunker.
Love that pick.
Offensive guard, Iowa. I love that pick too. I couldn't love it more if I tried. Round 4, pick 121, Caden Wetchen, wide receiver, Iowa.
That's a name.
That's a name, and that's a pick.
It's a pick.
Round 5, pick 169, Riley Nowakowski, tight end, Indiana. Round 6, pick 210, Gabriel Rubio, defensive tackle, Notre Dame. Round 7, pick 224, Robert Spears Jennings, safety, Oklahoma. Round 7, pick 230, Eli Heidenreich, running back, Navy.
Sounds very German.
It does, but if you watched wrestling back in the day, there used to be a wrestler named Heidenreich.
Oh, of course.
His actual name is John Heidenreich.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Chris, your thoughts?
So this is speaking of a team that got screwed. They were trying to pick up Mekhi Lemon, and they even apparently called him and were saying we're picking you at number 21, only for the Eagles to swoop in and pick him at number 20. So, I don't love the offensive tackle pick here, the Max Einhakar. I rate him as a round 2, but at the same time, he was on their board to be picked as their next pick. And then obviously getting your Mekhi Lemon pick stolen right under your nose, you're probably like, oh shit, who do we pick? We'll just pick Ignore. So I think that's probably what happened. I don't think it's a bad pick, by the way. When I say it's a reach, we're just talking very minorly between, a round 2 middling to a round 1 end. So it's not a huge reach. It's a slight reach. Round 2, they picked up wide receiver Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. I think that's fine.
That's fine.
Fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
Yep.
Now I'm going to slightly defend this next pick because a lot of people really hate it. The round 3 pick of Drew Aller, quarterback out of Penn State. Okay, I want to make something clear. My very first thing I'm going to say is, should not have been a round 3 pick. I'll agree with that. I don't disagree with them specifically picking him, though.
No.
I think that he has a lot of intangibles. He's got a lot of athleticism, but my God, that is a project quarterback if I've ever seen one. And he should have been definitely more like a round 5, not a round 3. Round 3, they got the cornerback Dalen Everett. I'm kind of indifferent on that. I think it's fine, but I don't love it either. I love the Jennings Dunker pick. There's no question.
He feels like he was born to be a Steeler.
Well, yeah, but I also think he should have been a round 2 pick, to be honest. Yes. I think that's a steal at round 3.
Absolutely.
Then I really don't like their round 4 pick in Caden Wetchen. There was a lot of better options there. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That was terrible.
Their round 5 pick in Riley Nowakowski, I'm kind of indifferent on. Gabe Rubio, I actually, weirdly enough, I actually looked into this guy a little bit, but I do actually like their round 7 pick in Robert Spears Jennings. I actually think that's a sneaky good pick. He's got a lot of projects there, but man, he's got some real intangibles that I think if they can coach up, he has the ability to be a really good safety.
I think you could have maybe gotten him in the 5th.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah. Now Eli Heidenreich, I have no real feelings on, to be honest with you. So the name is kind of fun. So I'm actually sitting at like a B. I think they did pretty decent.
I'm gonna start with the grade, and I gave them a C+.
Okay. Yeah.
I felt like there's too many reaches for me to be really comfortable.
Okay, fair enough.
Because Caden Wetchen, huge reach. I think he's like a 7th rounder. Not a fan of Wetchen where they got him.
Yeah.
I love Jennings Dunker. I think that dude was born to be a Steeler.
That mullet, man.
Oh. And he's from Iowa. He's already used to black and yellow. He's got that tough guy mindset. Yeah, no, he's a Steeler. Drew Aller, I think I'd have been happier if you'd have picked him where you picked Wetchen.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I think I'd have been a lot happier if you'd have grabbed him at 121. I'd have been okay with that. I still would have liked to have seen him in like the 5th round, but the 4th round wouldn't have been terrible for him.
End of 4th, yeah.
Yeah, end of the 4th there. Yeah, no, not terrible. Um, and I also love Robert Spears Jennings. I think he's going to be really good if you coach him up. And I don't really care about Nowakowski or Rubio. Whatever. I think they're fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Same with Everett. But yeah, there's just a little bit too much reach in here for me. I get some of the idea because you still don't know if Rodgers is coming back. We assume he's going to for at
At
least
this
one more
point, yeah.
year. And Drew Aller probably sits behind him for a year, and you get a chance to have him learn behind Rodgers and let Rodgers do his thing. And then Rodgers rides off into the sunset, yeehaw! And Drew Aller steps in as hopefully your next quarterback. We will see. So, Chris, walk me through the 49ers.
Wouldn't it be Seattle next?
Sansea.
I have San Francisco's SF, dude.
Spell San Francisco.
Yeah, but you just do SF. They've always done SF for San Francisco.
Yes, but I didn't. I did it by alphabetical order.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That they've always
Fine, do Seattle and
shortened
do
it
San
to S.
Francisco. Whatever.
I don't want you don't. You know what? You're gonna bro San Francisco anyways. Leave them alone.
I am gonna blow up San Francisco's draft.
I'm going to Seattle. Goddammit.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to talk about Seattle because I know you want to rip apart San Francisco, and I want to defend them a little bit before you rip them apart. So Seattle, we got round one at the very end, running back Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. Round two, they picked up safety Bud Clark out of TSU. Round three, they picked up cornerback Julian Neal out of Arkansas. Round five, they picked up offensive guard Bo Stevens out of Iowa. Round six, they picked up wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson Jr. out of Kansas. Round seven, they picked up cornerback Andre Fuller out of Toledo. Round seven, they picked up defensive tackle Devin Eastern out of Minnesota. And round seven, they picked up cornerback Michael Dansby out of Arizona. What is your thoughts on Seattle?
Okay. This was tough for me because you just won the Super Bowl. Thus, you're already a pretty good team. Thus,
yeah,
yada, yada, yada. But being the champions, people want your parts.
And yeah, they're going to pick you clean.
Yep, and you can't keep all of them, which is kind of what happened. We all kind of knew they were going to take Jadarian Price at the end of round one. Unless they could trade back, they were still going to take him there. That was almost an absolute. So I don't hate that. I feel like you reached a bit for Bud Clark, but again, I don't think you had an option at the end.
I don't think it's bad, though.
It's not
bad. I don't think it's bad.
And it's the same thing for kind of Julian Neal and Emmanuel Henderson Jr. I feel like all of those kind of were a little bit of a reach. And
just a little bit.
And the problem is, the reason they were is because you have to draft at the end of a round.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to think about who might take them in the next round before you get to them.
The next round before you get to them, yeah, exactly.
So, I'm not impressed, but I'm not mad. So, C+?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement there. I saw what they picked and went, there's slight reaches, but they're not like egregious. So, and they picked up pretty decent spots for what they needed. So I'm kind of in agreement. I'm at a C+. I think it's fine.
All right. San Francisco. Round 2, pick 33, Dejon Stribling, wide receiver, Ole Miss. Round 3, pick 70, Romello Height, edge, Texas Tech. Round 3, pick 90, Kalen Black, running back, Indiana. Round 4, pick 107, Grayson Halton, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. Round 4, pick 127, Carver Willis, offensive tackle, Washington. Round 4, pick 139, Ephesians Prysock. I like that name.
That's a name.
That's a
great name.
Cornerback, Washington. Round 5, pick 154, Jaden Duggar, linebacker, Louisiana. Round 5, pick 179, Enrique Cruz Jr., offensive tackle, Kansas.
All right. All right. Just hear me out. Hear me out. I know you're gonna rip them anyways. I already know what you're gonna do. But I think you might be going a little hard in the paint. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, I know a lot of people are really shitting on this round two pick of Dejon Striblings, and I can understand why. However, if you look historically with the way Kyle Shanahan uses those types of specific running backs or wide receivers, especially the very speedy ones, and Dejon Stribling was climbing draft boards at this point, I can understand the pick. Now, I will still say they probably could have traded again to go a little lower in round two and still gotten him, and that probably would have been the smarter choice. But I don't think the pick in itself is a bad pick, as people are saying. So I'll caveat that. So I think that's an okay pick in round two, just maybe a little high in round two. Now they pick Edge Romello Height in round three. I think that's okay in round three. Not my favorite pick, but certainly not the worst pick. Speaking of a worst pick, running back Kalen Black, I think, is horrific in round three, to be honest with you. Do not understand that. Round four, Grayson Halton, don't really like that pick that much either. Offensive guard Carver Willis in round four, I don't love or hate. I'm kind of indifferent on that one. Round four, cornerback Price Hawk. I mean, maybe. um, Round five, linebacker Jaden Duggar. I actually like that pick. I low key think that's actually a decent pick in round five. And then the offensive tackle Enrique Cruz, I'm fairly on. So I'm giving him a D plus. I don't think it's awful, but it is pretty bad.
So I do give this an F minus minus. I'm gonna straight up tear this apart. I hate the Dejon Stribling pick where they got him. I don't hate him to the Niners. I want to be clear about this. I hate that you picked him with the first pick of round two. There are infinitely better receivers, especially speedy ones, that you could have picked here. Chris Brazel II was on the board. The dude is 6'4" and ran a 4.37. That's speedy, that's fast, that's tall, that's exactly what you needed, and you went with Dejon Stribling. You're on drugs. You need to put the drugs down. Romello Height, blah, whatever. Okay. I don't totally hate it, but whatever. Kalen Black. Look, at this point, when you picked Kalen Black, I went, you'd have more luck lighting your entire draft room on fire and letting ChatGPT pick for you.
Maybe that's what happened.
That's the only thing I can think of. Duggar is the only other one I went, okay, for a round five pick, okay. But everything else, my God, you could not have fucked this draft up worse if you tried. You'd have had to really go out of your way to make this worse. I may eat my words. Stribling may turn out to be Offensive Rookie of the Year with the way Shanahan uses him. It could happen, but I don't think I'm going to. I think this was a very bad draft, and I think history will hold me out on that. Chris, walk me through Tampa.
Tampa Bay, doing whatever Tampa Bay does. In round one, with the 15th overall pick, with an absolute steal of a pick, they pick up edge Reuben Bain Jr. out of Miami.
Should have been top 10.
Easily. Shouldn't have even been out of the top 10. Round two, linebacker Josiah Trotter out of Missouri. Still don't dislike that pick, actually, in round two. Don't. Round three, they got wide receiver Ted Hurst out of Georgia State. Round four, they pick up defensive back Keontae Scott out of Miami.
Like that pick.
Round five, they pick up defensive tackle DeMonte Capehart out of Clemson. Round five, they pick up offensive guard Billy Schroth out of Notre Dame. And round six, they pick up tight end Bauer Sharp out of LSU. What is your thoughts?
I absolutely love this draft. This was fantastic drafting by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, admittedly, they had a fat smoke of luck on this. getting Bane to drop all the way to 15. There's no way that should have happened, and the fact that it did was utterly amazing.
Hmm.
They needed an edge. They saw Bane show up there, and they went, "Really? You're just okay."
You giving them to us, all right, I guess.
Like Josiah Trotter, he's the brother of J.C. Trotter and the son of Jeremiah Trotter. Um,
Hmm.
he probably could have gone in the third, but I don't hate him in the second. Ted Hurst easily could have gone in the second. I don't hate him in the third. Keontae Scott probably could have gone in the second or third. Um, Capehart could have easily been a fourth rounder. Shrouth probably could have been a high fifth, low fourth. Yeah, this was a great draft. You found a lot of value all throughout the draft. I love this. This is an A plus.
So I'm mostly in agreement. I did give him an A plus. I will say I'm not as high up on Ted Hurst as you are. I saw them as a low third, early fourth, but they still got him in the third, so it's fine. Um, and Keontae Scott, they got him where I thought he should have gone. Demonte Capehart, pretty much in the same feelings. So overall, they either got really good value or about equal value to what they should have gotten. So A plus.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the Titans. Round one, pick
The
4.
Tennessee Titans.
Round one, pick 4, Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. Round one, pick 31, Keldrick Falk, edge, Auburn. Round 2, pick 60, Anthony Hill Jr., edge, linebacker, Texas. Round 5, pick 142, Fernando Carmona, center, guard, Arkansas. Round 5, pick 165, Nicholas Singleton, running back, Penn State. Round 6, pick 184, Jackie Marshall, defensive line, Baylor. Round 6, pick 194, Pat Coogan, center, Indiana. Round 7, pick 225, Jaron Kanak, tight end, Oklahoma. Chris.
All right. So I mostly like this draft for the most part. The round one, number 4 pick, Carnell Tate, easily makes sense. Good pick. Their late round 1 pick in Edric Keldrick Falk, also good pick. Like that a lot. Um, round 2, Anthony Hill Jr. Out of Texas, kind of in the late second. I'm okay with that. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's fine. Um, then they miss round 3 and 4. Then we go to round 5 in guard Fernando Carmona. I'm kind of don't like that pick as much, to be honest. I'm a little, But the running back Nicholas Singleton, I think, is actually a low key good pick out in round 5.
Mm-hmm.
Round 6, defensive tackle Jackie Marshall. I don't really love that much.
Nope. Bit of a
Round
reach there.
6, yeah, round 6 center Pat Coogan, Indiana is fine in round 6, especially
Yep.
late round 6 at
Late
that
round
point.
6, that's fine.
And I don't have really any feelings on the round 7 pick in Jaron Kanak. So
However,
I was
that last
kind
name
of
is pretty badass.
it is pretty nice. I was kind of iffy, washing between A minus and B plus. I'm actually leaning B plus in the end. I think they reached on a couple of players more than they should have, but they overall did a really good job. And if you gave them an A minus, I really wouldn't
I
bat
did
an
give
eye
them
at
an A
that.
minus.
Yeah,
Just because I felt like the biggest reach for them was Jackie Marshall. Carmona, fine. Round 5, that I don't hate it. Could have done a little better, but I don't hate it. I low key love the Singleton pick, especially because you do need a running back, and I think that
yeah,
really helps. Love the Carnell Tate pick. I know you were probably hoping that uh, Love would fall to you.
yeah. You would have. People were hoping Love was going to be still there,
Yeah,
and
and
and to be honest, probably should have been. But
probably
Arizona
should have
being
been,
Arizona,
but I don't. Carnell Tate, good second option for that. Really helps out your quarterback Cam Ward.
Mhm.
Like the Keldrick Falk pick. I like Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker edge out of Texas. I had him rated a little bit ahead of the other guy, that Rodriguez, who I think went before him, but come say, come saw. Flip him around, and I'm not mad.
Yep.
For the 60th overall pick, I'm not mad at it. Yeah, and Coogan down in the 6th round, late 6th round, I think that's fine. Yeah, A minus. You guys did a fairly good job drafting again. Pretty happy. I think you guys are only going to get better.
Fair enough.
All right, Chris, last one. Take me through Washington.
Let's talk about Washington. All right, Washington Commanders. Round 1 with the 7th overall pick, they pick linebacker Sonny Styles out of Ohio State. Not shocking. They do have no round 2. Go to round 3. They pick up wide receiver Antonio Williams out of Clemson. Round 5, they pick up edge Joshua Josephs out of Tennessee. Edge. Round 6, they pick up running back Katron Allen out of Penn State. I actually don't hate that pick,
No,
at least in round 6. Round 6, they pick up center Matt Golbin out of Michigan State. And in round 7, they pick up QB Ethan Calicamanis out of Rutgers. Jeepers,
Kaliakmanis?
I don't know. That's a hard name to say.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. A lot of K's. A lot
a lot
of
of
K's,
K's
a
on
lot
that
of
one.
K's.
What's your feelings on the Commanders?
Okay, so let me go out and start with I don't hate Sonny Styles, the player.
No.
I don't think that's a good pick for Washington.
Depends on who you ask. I don't hate it or don't love it. That's kind of where I'm at with that one.
I just don't think it's what you need at the 7th pick of the draft. I think there were better things you could have done there, but you kind of made up for a little bit of it by grabbing Antonio Williams in the 3rd round. I like that pick, by the way.
Yeah.
I think he was an easy 2nd round pick. Joshua Josephs was pretty good value in the 5th. I don't hate that one. Katron Allen in the 6th is fine. Golbin, yeah, that's fine in the 6th. He might eventually become a starter for you. I think he's got the talent. I leaned between B+ and A- for this draft, and I think I went with B+, but I wouldn't be upset if somebody gave them an A or an A-. Also, I do want to point out, Sonny is not his name. That is a nickname. When he was younger, he apparently had quite the temper and reminded his parents of Sonny from Godfather and Godfather 2, Sonny Corleone, and so that's the nickname.
I apparently like it less than you. I thought we were going to swap on this one, but I did not love this draft from them. I think Sonny Styles is fine. I think Antonio Williams is okay. Not my favorite pick, but I wasn't super high up on that particular player to begin with. You were obviously more than I was.
Mm-hmm.
Edge Joshua Josephs, I don't love in round 5 personally, but I get it at the same time. I do like Katron Allen in round 6, and Matt Golbin is fine. I'm actually at a B-. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think it's a perfectly fine draft, but I feel like they could have done a lot better. I think they could have gotten a lot better value with the picks they ultimately got. They got good players, but I think they could have gotten better players.
I think the best part about all of it for me is that it's still in the B category. We're both giving them in the B area.
Yeah.
And I think that's about right for that. All right. Well, everybody let us know. What did you think? Did we screw this up? Did we spit fire? Did we totally blow your team out of the water? Do you hate what we said? Do you think what we said is fine? Let us know. Let us hear it from you. In the meantime, I got nothing else. Do you got anything else, Chris?
Bird.
Outside of everything else, the last little bit I want to say is Rod Brzezinski is apparently, according to newest reporting, the top-rated candidate currently for the GM job, but they do want to see what else is out there before they just make the safe internal hire. So the Vikings are going to be working on it, and we will see what comes of it. All right, guys, we'll be back here. I don't think we'll be back next week. I think we're going to take some time off. There isn't much going on. We'll probably be back once the NHL finals kick around, especially if the Wild end up being in the Cup finals. We will definitely be here to talk about that. But until that time, we're probably going to go to once a month on the podcasts now until, I would imagine, until the preseason kicks up. Then we'll start ramping back up into the NFL. So, until we